Show my face.
Yo, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? God, it feels like it's been forever.
I know.
Has it been that long?
It's been...
Has it been 2 weeks?
Has it been officially 2? Well, we weren't 2 weeks off. We had a week off. So this is... Yeah, we didn't miss 2 weeks. We missed 1 week. Right? Was it 2 weeks that we missed? I'm pretty sure we only missed 1. I think.
So life happens, and we need you all to let us know. How long has it actually been? Has it been 2 weeks?
Oh no, has it been 2 weeks? It's October 3rd right now.
It is.
No.
All right, so let's just put it together.
No, it's been a week.
Let's go through. Wow, it's only been a week. Well, clearly I know what it is.
Yeah, the 26th is when we were supposed to broadcast up.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Week.
2 weeks. Boom. Where's the chat?
No, because we were supposed to broadcast on the 26th, and that was... okay, so we're a week behind. Okay, all right. I might concede to this one. That's fine.
Oh, I see. That's why. Hold on, guys.
There's a new update.
10 days, just shy of.
Okay, just shy of. All right. I'll give you that. Okay, we're behind because
On a lot.
We're behind on a lot of stuff, but we've got cool stuff to talk about tonight. We've got Magic to talk about. We've got
sell it any way you can, dude.
We've got bingo board to talk about.
Bingo boards.
We have a pack we're gonna crack tonight on stream.
Stickers
to give away. We've got stuff, guys.
All the gimmicks that you could ask for.
We've got interviews from our players.
That's it.
We've got some cool images that Brett designed with the brackets and all that kind of good stuff.
Deck lists.
The deck list looks sweet, you know?
But let's just come on out and say
okay.
We've got all this great stuff. But because of technical difficulties, we cannot knowingly show you the matches. We can't show you the matches. And if you know what? I'll do one better. Yo, Sacrosanctus, what's going on, dude? If you guys are interested, we can show you how bad the video was.
We'll be happy to show that. Maybe at the end of the whole thing, we'll
put it up
just so you guys can understand
the
pain and agony that we've been going through for these 10 days.
Yeah.
2 week period, because for those that don't know, we've been doing this streaming using this computer since February. And we haven't really had too much issues. Lighting issues.
Sure. Things manageable.
Normal
issues.
stuff like that. We've recorded up many hours of footage. We've done IQs that have gone, 8 rounds or 7 rounds cut to top 4 kind of thing. Like we've had, different rounds cut to top 8. Last one we had was 8 rounds, 5 rounds, and then cut to top 8. So there was 8 rounds total for that invitational qualifier. Our invitational and week 1 of season 3 footage is messed up. I don't understand why.
It's super choppy. It's very hard to see what's going on.
It's very laggy.
Yeah. So I mean, basically, we're to the point we don't want to bring that to you guys.
No, because we've been working hard about constantly improving our coverage and constantly improving the content that we're providing with you. That we don't think it's fair for our viewers to have to try to sit through and try to understand what is happening in a match when it is like skipping frames every second.
Right.
Like it's just jumping around to what is happening and you can't really tell. So we'll showcase that for you guys at the end of things. But because it's the Invitational, we have all this extra stuff that we've built up for it. We have these interviews with the players, which the interviews are messed up. So we've got the sound, the audio for that, and then we've got like picture slideshows going across so you guys can, put the names to the faces kind of thing.
Yeah. So we have done everything that we can to bring you the Invitational, for you to be on site for the Invitational without actually seeing the content. We've got, again, deck list, interviews, the brackets, We're going to talk about everything.
We're going to sit here and go over full in-depth about our players, about the decks that they're bringing, basically about how the rounds went, kind of get that sort of discussion going for you guys at home so you can maybe get at least some idea of what happened. And then we'll put up the video so you guys can watch and
just so you can.
And this is this is what we've been dealing with for the last 10 days is trying to find ways to figure out why it's not working, if any of the footage is usable.
Answer was no.
The answer was no. And week number 1 of season 3 is also a no. I still haven't figured it out. So luckily we have a week off from Modern Magic Monday's recording, at least.
True.
This week the shop is closed. So that gives me time to try to figure out what is wrong with the computer camera-wise, why it's not recording properly anymore. And then we have a backup plan if the computer is not able to work, what we can do going forward.
So we're making it happen.
We are making it happen.
We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna bring you this content if it kills us.
Exactly.
If it kills us.
So do you want to crack it back? Do you want to look at the bingo board? What do you want to do?
So let's just start it out, guys. So season number 3. This is gonna be an impromptu stream. I hope you guys are ready. It's gonna be a wild ride.
It is.
Season 3. Nan stole this idea from Tom Ross. I'm just gonna say
the boss.
The boss.
Without a doubt.
Yeah,
So the boss was like, "Hey, there's this event happening. SCG. I think it was Richmond. I think it was happening.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do bingo boards. I think he did like 2 or 3 or something like that for basically if this happens. But we've decided to take that idea and branch it out over the entire season. We've done it a little bit easier for some of the bingo spots, just because it's the first board. Mm-hmm. Easy to do. Now, the way it's set up is that you guys can randomize your board that you use. Basically, we're sending a link up in chat, and we'll post that up. We'll have a specific link in chat as well that you can type in a word or something, and it'll bring up the board for you. But you can pick your own card on there. Do the new card generation there, which... Oh, do we have that? Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, we gotta switch over there first. All right, bam. So here's the bingo board. Modern Magic Mondays. Of course, there's a free space because there always has to be a free space. But we decided to do some of the easier stuff. Turn 5 of extra turns. That's happened on camera quite a few times over the season.
Yeah.
So we decided to throw that in there. An opponent adjusts another player's life total.
On our iPad.
On our iPad. So, let's say Brett and I are playing, and knowing me, I choose not to because I'm forgetful. And Brett reaches over and is like, beep, 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 let me help you here. That would be a spot on the bingo board.
Nailed it.
So some of the, easier stuff. Then we've got some of the little bit more difficult stuff. Gain 4 more life in 1 turn. That's not happening very often on camera. Did I type it in wrong? Deflecting palm. I said reflecting palm, didn't I?
Same thing.
Things
are happening.
Yeah. I'm bad at my job, if you can't tell. Player accidentally reveals a card. So that could be they're shuffling their deck and a card falls out. Oh no! Or they're flicking their hand so quickly and oh no!
The jig is up.
Something like that could happen. End turn 1 with 16 or less life.
That one's easy. That should have been the free spot.
Well, so it's easy to end your life on 17.
Sure.
But in order to end it on less than that, you have to have played a Gitaxian Probe. You've had to gut shot. You had to play Thoughtseize.
These are all great options.
These are all things you can do that are not often happening.
That's true.
So that's why I said 16 to start it off. Sure. I didn't make it super easy and say 17.
I got you.
A little bit, little subtleness. Attacking for more than 10 damage in a turn. Mm-hmm. That's another fun one in there. All 3 Tron lands assembled by turn 3.
Right. Because we have a lot of Tron players in our shop.
Not as much anymore. But yes, we did for a while. We did.
They're still there.
A player has to read an opponent's card.
So the reader spot.
We figured it just had to throw it in. Player rips a sleeve. That's a more rare one. But you're sitting there, crap, my sleeve's destroyed. Better get a new one. Mulligan to 5 and win.
Player cast Eldritch Evolution.
I like that card.
That's targeted, dude.
I like that card. Well, that's why I wanted to spread it out. Like, the reflecting palm, deflecting palm there.
Sure.
For the burn players.
Okay.
We have a Tron thing. We have an Infect thing. Infect player kills with regular damage.
Well, I think, you can argue that someone else could do that too, but that's fine.
It specifically says Infect player, though.
Mm.
So, it does, right there, bottom.
Oh, I was talking about this one. Attacking from war.
Oh, yeah, the attacking from war is I kept some broad ones in there. Player cast Eldritch Evolution, just trying to give some broad stuff and more narrowed stuff. Break 100 points by the end of the season.
Ooh, that's it.
So that one's a little bit more rare of a thing to happen since have had players do it, but that might be something you might not get till the end of the season.
True.
So... but this is something we're going to start doing. So you can randomize your card if you are on the website there. If you're at Comic Kung Fu, we'll probably have some printouts as well, just at the shop for those that are interested. I'll print out a bunch of different boards.
People that need hard copies.
Right. Some people like to have the paper. They like to kill trees.
Sure. You guys probably also use fax machines as well.
Mm-hmm.
Fax machines.
It's a thing.
Please stop.
1980s.
It's not a thing. I don't even want to talk about it.
So there's our bingo board.
Bingo board
for season 3. So we'll get that going and kicked off. You want a cracker pack? There's other stuff.
You're just like super excited.
I'm interested. I'm actually really happy about this set.
Please.
Like Brett was making fun of me because I was watching Standard over the weekend.
The great thing about Twitch is you can now see what other people are doing that you're friends with.
Yeah.
And I'm doing work, right? And I'm on Twitch watching somebody play, and all of a sudden I look over, and he's talking about how, oh no, I don't want to play Standard, I'm not interested in that. And then all of a sudden I go, watching the SCG Open.
What is the Open this weekend? Oh yeah, it's Standard.
Standard. Got it.
So the problem is that last Standard, I had fun playing Black-White Control in Standard.
Sure.
I did a lot.
It's still a thing.
It is. Now, the problem is I made the deck and I played maybe like 2 events. Twice. And I was like, man, this deck is so much fun. Never had a chance to play. Now, with the whole bigger events being Standard, maybe I'll have to get back into it. Probably not, because I don't want to spend the money.
Now, I had an interesting conversation that... Rip it some more.
Yeah, just to add a little bit more.
The Standard is surprisingly low right now.
I was looking, actually, there was a deck, MTG Goldfish posted up of 11 decks or whatever that somebody came up with. Mm-hmm. And that Double Strike deck. Did you see that?
That Double Strike deck, boy.
Strike deck.
That one right there.
It was $50 or something for it. All 2 cost
Kill somebody
things.
with 10 damage.
It's got all the pump spells that are in there, the ones we were talking about for Infect and stuff.
Sure, larger than
life. Yeah, all these I'm like, huh. Because I did actually enjoy, before the Black-White Control, back a couple Standards ago,
Oh!
Yes!
Borrow it whenever! Now I'm just hoping... No, hold on, wait. No, go ahead. I want to test the waters here.
What was that? There was that... when Become Immense was in Standard, and there was that deck that was running around... Oh, what was that deck? That that red
Band
deck.
Company.
No, the red deck wins with Become Immense, Teamer Battle Rage, kill people, Swift Spears and stuff like that.
Burn?
Kind of. I don't remember what the deck was called. See how much I
was
care
in
about
Standard?
It was in Standard. Make Standard great.
Oh, it was it was basically Burn.
Yeah, but it didn't really run burn spells though. It's just I'm gonna kill you with this creature. A Tarka Red. There it is.
I knew TJ would get it. Thanks. You made Standard great again. Yes.
I enjoyed that deck.
He's already. Is it the red? It's the red white vehicle deck. Count me in. I'm in. Vroom vroom. Really? Now, okay. So I'm gonna interrupt you.
Mm-hmm.
How about that blue red Thermo Alchemist
now
deck?
That deck seems pretty
Does
sweet.
anyone in chat have that one together?
That one seems sweet.
No. Okay, well, let's look at this pack.
Okay, so our first card. Let me see.
Oh, such great camera quality.
Look at that.
Demolish.
Let me actually hold it up like somewhat straight. 4 cost, 3 colors, and red. Destroy target artifact or land. Now, have you seen the Gremlins yet?
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
Pretty
yeah,
sweet.
like I think that's pretty sweet. I just love the art for Kaladesh. Like, it's such a bright and colorful.
It is.
Like,
it's positive.
It is. You go from like Eldrazi and Gothic horror to like, oh, look at all this cool little metal and
until the Eldrazi show up again.
No. All right, keep moving our way
TJ's
through.
got my back. It's all commons. We can build it.
We can build it. All right, here is our dwarf. We've got our first dwarf. Our Avery mechanic here.
Aviary.
That one.
I got you. Don't worry.
2/2 for 2. When he enters the battlefield, you may return another permanent you control to its owner's hand.
That dwarf did some work for me in the pre-release.
Did he?
Yeah, oh yeah. Fun times.
Fun times were had.
Sealed is definitely fun in Kaladesh.
Here, why don't you read some? I've been doing all the reading here.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Right. Failed inspection. Because nothing...
Again, the flavor for all these cards
is better than having some failed inspections.
And countering cards.
Now this card right here.
Counterspell, draw a card, then discard a card.
If this doesn't draw all the feels, I don't know what will.
Oh, yes.
Cathartic Reunion.
Aww. It's like Tormenting Voice, but not as good, right?
That's the luck to you on this one.
Oh, no. What? I'm not... This is a scavenger. Good old D scavenger here.
Oh, ew, dude. Seriously, this is a family stream.
Yeah, how can you pronounce it?
Dakara?
There you go. Good old Dakara. It's a crocodile, guys. Actually, the art for it's sweet. Now that I look at it, I didn't look at that before. There's a crocodile eating somebody.
It's not scavengers. But, oh, there. Nailed it.
When he enters the battlefield, you may put target artifact or creature from your graveyard on top of your library. 4/6 for 6. But I like the art for it. This card is actually pretty sweet. I like this card. And the art, again, is awesome for it. Takedown! For 1 green. Choose 1. Deal 4 damage to target creature with flying. Or deal 1 damage to each creature with flying.
For your pack rat deck.
Oh, yeah, some more rats.
We have Thriving Rats.
Mm-hmm.
Getting you some of that energy.
I do love energy. Like, a lot.
Oh, speaking of energy, did you see the 4-color... you guys would think this is a standard stream when we were talking. The 4-color Aether Reservoir deck.
No, I'm going to have to look this up now.
That Caleb Scheer played. That thing was ridiculous.
We've got our High Spire Artisan.
Mm-hmm.
Dun dun dun. 03 with Reach for 3 mana. And he's got Fabricate 1, so you can put a +1 counter on him or make yourself a servo artifact creature token.
Laser beam them.
Laser beam someone.
So I'm looking through these cards. So let's bring it back to modern. Do you see anything modern-esque out of these 8 cards we've looked at? Other than Cathartic Reunion, because obviously...
You could probably run that in something.
Everyone's talking about running it in Dredge. You know.
Oh, discard 2,
Discard 2,
yeah.
draw 3. Storm and Standards? Sweet!
Out of the rest of it, not really.
Yeah, nothing yet. Let's see what else we got.
All right, what do we got?
Oh!
Yeah.
Tezzeret's Ambition. There's the camera.
Tezzeret's back, guys.
He's back. 2 blue, 3 colorless. Draw 3 cards. If you control no artifacts, discard a card. It's not too bad. That's one of the cards in that reservoir deck, dude.
Oh, okay.
We're already there.
Here is Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot, and it does something. I haven't had a chance to read it. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. You lose 1 life, and then you can play a black and 2 colors to sack it, draw a card, and lose a life.
For you burn players out there, that's not too bad. Furious Reprisal.
Okay, what do we got?
Oh, camera, please. Deal 2 damage to each of 2 target creatures and/or players.
For 4?
For 4.
Okay.
It's not bad.
Refurbish. Dun dun dun. Look how awesome this horse thing is. 4 mana to return target artifact from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Let's hit our trusty card bot here. Ceremonious Rejection. What does that card do? Did I spell that right? No.
Here's our Girapor guide. 3 mana for 2 colors and a green for a 3/2. You can pay 2 colors and a green. Target creature you control can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Look at this guy saying, hey, come over here. I'm going to show you about this awesome grid I made. Here, why don't you do our...
Oh, jeez. Mythic.
Fancy card here.
Oh, my. All right, so...
Look at the art on that. It's pretty sweet, too. Sorry, I'm getting distracted.
No, you're fine. 1 blue, 1 green, 2 colorless. Rakshimi, Eternity's Crafter. Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a non-land... Oh, it's like... this guy's like... what was that card out of Return to Rav? Or Gate Crash. Or that set.
Which one?
Block. Blue, green, something about an experiment. Not epic experiment, but it was Simic based. Clearly, you guys at home knows what's happening. This guy.
Mythic.
I was really hoping, I won't lie, like this was the pack where you got another
Masterwork.
You got a Masterwork and we just didn't know it.
That would have been sweet.
Camera capture, like, what? An Aether Vial?
That would have been sweet.
I should have done that. That would have been good. Except for, and then just like grab a normal Aether Vial.
Look, guys, look at that Aether Vial. Cool. So we got a dude man. Actually, okay. The counter target colorless spell that they're talking about.
Yeah,
I'm so happy for that.
It's really good when all those Eldrazi come back.
Yeah, get out of here.
And standard at least, but true. 1 blue and a colorless.
Yep.
Counter target. I like it.
Yeah, Tiso's Tron players, what's what? Because pretty much all their stuff's colorless.
That's true.
It's great.
It's great.
I'm just gonna run the anti-Tron deck because in fact it's not anti-Tron enough. All right, so we got to crack a pack. Got some cool things.
Oh, that's a good point. All Tron's planeswalkers get countered.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And all their mana rocks that they're playing, their...
I'm just worried about Karn.
Yeah.
I would hold that just for Karn.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Play that Karn Liberated. Go ahead.
All right. That's our crackback stuff. That's our bingo.
That's it, guys. We're done.
Hey, see you later.
No. So let's hop over. Let's take a look at this bracket now.
Okay.
Let's get down to the real business.
Boom.
Why are we here? Season 2 Player Invitational Top 8. Here it is. Don't even pay attention to the date. I know it's been almost 15 days. It's fine. But starting at the top of the bracket, your number 1 seed, Lyle Rolfs, in boss.
Yes.
Has earned his spot
2 seasons in a row.
2 seasons in a row. No joke. Just hands down. Just no joke.
Yeah.
And on the other side, we have our Season 1 Player Invitational
champion,
and
Jeremy Miller.
Can I just say how he just snuck his way?
He got lucky at the last week. Really, there was those moments where this had to happen, that had to happen for him to be able to make it, and he was basically fighting over the eighth place with 3 people or 2 other people.
Yeah,
so there's 3 people fighting for this spot, and one of them had very bad luck. It was like 0-2. Was like, all right, I'm out. The other one, I think, went 3-2, and was just like 4 points behind Jeremy at the end there. Right. So very, very close race, but it wouldn't be an Invitational without having a returning champ. So good to see that we'll have Jeremy battling it out against Lyle.
Yeah. And then we also have our 4th seed and 5th seed.
Our 2 newest additions to this season. Both of them were not able to make the top 8 for season 1.
True.
But have made it in for season 2.
That's it. Derek Southers and, of course, my boy, Keenan McDonald. I put all of my hopes and dreams on him.
He did.
And it paid off. He made it into the top 8. 5th spot. I'm super proud of him. And then on the other side of the bracket, we've got
a repeat from season 1.
We do.
Eric needed to win one more match over the season to guarantee that he would not battle against Ben.
I mean, I think this is what you call serendipitous. Something like serendipitous. Like it had to happen.
Mm-hmm. It was destined for them to battle again.
Yeah.
So Eric Bloom, 3rd seed going into it, ends up playing against Ben Farabee, who was our runner-up from season number 1 there. Got 2nd place at season number 1. So very nice for him to continue to make it back in, just like Jeremy. He's going to try again to see if he can seal the deal here.
Yeah, and then seed number 2 is TJ Schillenberg. Existential dread to all his friends sitting there in chat.
Yep.
Has been, back and forth, but I think has mostly played Affinity.
Yeah.
Throughout this entire process. For our time here at Modern Magic Mondays, he has been our resident Affinity player.
Yes. Made it for season 1, made it to the semifinals.
Yep.
Was eliminated by, I believe, the champion Jeremy Miller. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that's how his bracket lined up. So going for another crack at it this time, seeing if he can have a deeper run. Then our final new addition to it, just like Derek and Keenan, we have Tim, who has joined us in here, who missed a few weeks to just barely miss out for season number 1. This time around, he was kind of really gung-ho about making sure he had the points to make it in. And again, very close. Like, him and Ben were fighting over points there for that 6th and 7th place spot for a while there. So, just barely able to kind of sneak his way in. And he's been one of our players that kind of go-to Merfolk player at the shop. Loves his Aether Vial. Has played other such decks like that over these many weeks of Modern Magic Mondays. But most people know him as a Merfolk player.
Did he put Aether Vial in the ally deck?
Yes.
Okay, alright, just checking.
You did.
Nailed it. So I could safely assume that he's bringing some sort of... You know what, let's just talk about it. Let's talk about...
decks.
Let's look at these players. We've seen them for, 20 weeks now?
Yes.
Maybe a little bit more than 20 weeks. Mm-hmm. So we've got a pretty good idea about what these players are bringing.
And a lot of the so the way it's set up is, it being the Invitational, the players can throw those haymakers and surprise out of nowhere. Hey, I'm on a new deck because it's the Invitational. I'm going to try to metagame my opponent. Or I'm going to play a deck that I know really well because I've played this consistently, and just hope that my ability to pilot this is going to outweigh you throwing a deck at me that is supposed to just counter me. So Lyle is one of those players that has a lot of different decks. For the season, he's really been, like season 2, he's kind of been Bant Eldrazi and Infect have been his 2 that he's enjoyed playing the most. Mm-hmm. But he has other lists as well. Like, he was rocking out Control for a bit. He has his Zoo list. And I think there was at least one other list that he had been playing over these 2 seasons. He was running that Mardu.
Yeah, Control. I was gonna say one week he played that Mardu mid-range deck,
and then that he also has all the Abzan and Jund pieces and stuff like that, right. So he could make that. So he's got a lot of decks at his disposal. But as of late, the 2 big ones are Infect and Bant Eldrazi. Mm-hmm. So.
And over the speaking of having a large access to cards, Jeremy Miller is another one. He's never, besides playing Tron. Yo, we have a wet dream. Thank you so much for the $15 donation. We appreciate that. Super super nice of you. Mm-hmm. I hear a sticker is now in your future.
Yes.
Jeremy Miller bringing in Tron. That was kind of his season 1.
Yeah.
Haymaker. And even into season 2, even though he missed a couple weeks, he was playing Tron more often than not. But he did bounce around a little bit.
Yeah, especially season 2, he was very vocal about how he was not enjoying Tron as much.
Yeah.
And was really trying to find. He's like, I'm not enjoying it. I need to find a new deck. I don't know. I just, for whatever reason, I had a lot of fun with it season 1 and was really enjoying it. And now, I'm still, winning. Some weeks I'm not doing as well, but I'm just not enjoying playing it like I was for season 1. And he is somebody else with a large card pool.
Mm-hmm.
He has played the Merfolk a couple of weeks. Ad Nauseam was one of the decks he had played a couple of weeks. So at the very end, I think week number, or the off week, he played Infect.
Mm-hmm.
So he does have Infect also available to him. And then for season 1 for the Invitational, there was a screenshot of 5 decks or 6 decks that he had laid out on the table that he could have played for that. So he's got a lot of decks available to him. So it's hard to metagame your opponent in that situation.
True.
Where it's such a large card pool, you don't know exactly what you're going to be facing.
What's going on, Charles? Welcome to the stream, dude. Yeah, so moving forward, we've got Derek Southers and Keenan McDonald.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just put it out there. We'll start with Keenan.
Okay.
All right.
Keenan came season 1, right?
Yep.
Is that when it started up?
Season 1.
Okay.
Yep.
So he was there for all of season 1, or?
I think he was there for all of season 1.
All right.
I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say all of season 1.
Just that one question I was gonna ask.
And it's been burn.
Mm-hmm.
Week in, week out. If you sit across the table from Keenan,
he's been making his deck look nicer. It's got these sweet lands in
Cougar
there now.
Mountains. He's starting to foil it. It's very clear.
Yes.
He's playing burn.
Mm-hmm.
So on Derek's side, it's a safe assumption. I just need to prepare for burn.
Yeah.
No matter what I play,
he's playing burn.
He's got to be playing burn, and it's unfortunately some people don't have access to a large card pool. So on Keenan's side, even though he's very, very good friends with TJ and Julia, and TJ has got a lot of cards, he just feels more comfortable in burn. So I'm gonna go with he's on burn.
Yeah.
So on Derek's side, what does he need to bring?
So Derek has a larger access to card pool than some of the players out there. Now, the 2 decks that people have seen him on more recently and more often have been Lantern Control.
Oh.
And Ad Nauseam.
I super hope he's not bringing Lantern Control.
At the IQ, Jeremy was playing a different deck, trying to get some reps in for the Invitational. Or at least that's some people's speculation.
Sure. Of
why he was playing the deck that he was playing, which was one of the decks that we didn't talk about when we were talking about Jeremy. Derek was playing Lantern Control. So it made me think, is he getting in reps for this just like Jeremy is, trying to get himself ready for it? And that's where I placed him on. It makes sense. If you're going to switch up decks where he was playing Ad Nauseam for a while there, and you want to do something a little bit different, that if you are expecting to play against somebody that you're like, I have a better knowledge of the game, I feel like I can benefit more because there's no time for our Invitational.
Sure.
You get to you're not going to win from timeout where you might sneak some wins in against a Lantern Control player. It's not going to happen. So that's where I pegged him at over Ad Nauseam.
So, but the question is, and this is for you, is for anyone at home, is Lantern Control where you want to be if you're 98% sure that Keenan's going to be bringing burn?
No. I think Ad Nauseam is better in that situation because you have more ways to help keep you alive against a burn player than with the Lantern Control.
I was going to say, I think you have to have a very sculpted hand.
Yes.
If you're going to play Lantern Control and you run against a burn player, your hand has got to be great to be able to manage what's going on, not only on your side. Because, as much as Ensnaring Bridge is powerful,
Mm-hmm.
in the burn matchup, they could just switch it up and go, you know what? I'm not even worried about creatures.
I'm just going to go face.
Yeah, I'm just going to
Here's
go face.
all my bolts and
I'm
stuff
going to
like
burn
that.
you out. So you have to be able to not only make them discard those burn spells, but also manage their draws to make sure. Now, they could get greedy and keep one-landers.
Yeah.
To see if it's happened.
Sneak by with that kind of access, yeah.
But, you just got to be lucky. There's a large amount of luck involved, I think, if you're going to play Landers from Control.
Yeah, so like with that mindset, it could just be like, all right, to help me against burn, Land Control might not be the best for that round one.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you really shape it up and like, I'm going to mainboard 4 Ley Lines and, like really hate out your opponent.
Got him.
Because we've seen some people go, hey, who am I playing? I'm going to really hate them out knowing that they don't have a lot of decks. So, speaking of that, we've got our next 2 players. Eric Bloom.
Such a fantastic transition.
Did you like that?
Eric and Ben. This is a rivalry sweeter than any of the cake that you could ever have.
They have been rivals since season 1. This is a continual 2016 rivalry going on. Eric got eliminated season 1 Invitational by Ben. Really trying to go for a hateful deck. Ben opted for Burn season 1 Invitational to try to just get there and mess with people after playing some very different decks from that. Eric, it is very well known that he has 2 decks.
2 of them.
Only 2.
Tron.
Yep.
Living End.
And that's it. So, with that information at hand, it's much easier to design a deck that you want to hate out those 2 decks. On Eric's side, he basically has to go, which deck is going to be better
when
for
you
me
have
to play?
Correct. When you have no idea what your opponent could be playing.
Yeah.
But everyone knows. And I get that. That's frustration that's very well placed, I think.
Yeah.
Especially, we have a very strong metagame. It's actually pretty aggressive right now, I would say. However, when you get close to everyone and you're playing with them week in, week out, you start to learn, Eric's only got Living End and Tron.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong.
And he's very particular about not wanting to borrow cards from people.
Right.
Like, had bad situations with borrowing cards and things and that, so he's like, no, I'm not going to borrow cards. These are my decks. I can play these decks. He's working on a new deck, though. Like, for Season 3, I think he's trying to get a new deck together.
Oh,
but
okay.
yes, but it is a fact that he only has 2 decks going into the Invitational.
Yeah, but now, like I said, don't get me wrong. He's in the top 8 once again. Muscles, see what's going on. Welcome to the stream, dude. And, clearly it's working.
Yeah.
Tron, Living End, those are decks that are working out in his favor. They're getting him to the top 8 spot. Top 8 positions. So, it's not a bad place to be. Even though people know that you have only 2 decks, you're doing well with that deck.
He made it to 3rd place for the season playing one of those 2 decks.
And he stayed at the top.
He consistently was in the top 3.
Weeks?
Yeah. First place for half the season there. So that's it, good rundown for Eric. Ben, on the other hand, has access to a much larger card pool.
True.
He has been purchasing a lot of cards lately, getting new decks.
Mm-hmm.
For people like around the shop, he's been lending out cards so people can play Dread, so people can play the Amulet Titan. He's got Scape Shift, which he's been a big pilot of, kind of our go-to Scape Shift player at the shop for a while. Of course, we know he's got Burn. Rumors going around that he has that Zoo or the Death Shadow list.
I think he played that once or twice, maybe once.
Then, of course, his roommate has a large card pool.
True.
So that that knowing that they're roommates, they probably are sharing card pools, especially for the Invitational.
I would assume so.
So that's like even more decks that are available to him to start to be able to use. affinity, merfolk, even something off the wall kind of thing that they could be able to come up with. So they have a lot of different cards that they can start to use to try to hate out Eric.
That they can try.
I like that's
It's Ben and Tim versus Eric. This is what we're happening. But let's move over. Let's talk about Tim and let's talk about TJ. Because TJ is also in another situation like Eric, sort of. TJ has a larger card pool, has played other decks, is no stranger to these other modern staples. However, like we've said before, and many times past that, he is our resident Affinity player.
Yes.
If you are playing against Affinity, likely you're playing against TJ in our shop.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some other people have brought it in the past, but TJ is the one that knows it in and out.
Most of the time when he plays the mirror matchup, he's just winning, hands down. I would say 97.6% of the time at our shop in the mirror matchup in Infinity, he's going to win.
That's a very exact number. I'll check on your math later.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But like he does have a larger card pool. Could be able to try to think about all the decks that Tim plays.
Mm-hmm.
Those creature-based decks, usually more aggressive. So maybe he could tier his strategy to something to fight that.
Sure.
And we've talked about Tim. Loves himself some Aether Vial.
I mean, if it doesn't have Aether Vial in it, he doesn't play.
He is our go-to Merfolk player. Also has access to Affinity. Does have allies as a fun of deck more than a competitive deck. But also has a lot of cards too. And we have to keep in mind all the cards that Ben has too. So it's like, hey, I've got these kind of decks. Maybe I'll switch it up and play the Amulet Titan just to have some fun or something like that. You can do some crazy stuff for the Invitational. So there's some players that are like, for sure, you are going to be on this deck. And then there's other matchups that both of them are kind of up in the air. Well, you could play pretty much anything. So I don't really know what I can try to metagame you with.
Sure.
But there is that factor that goes into it. And we do our best to try to keep that information hidden from the players.
Yes. By do our best, it means they send us their deck list, and then we have to keep tight-lipped. And we do well. We do very well in keeping tight-lipped on the decks that have come through my DMs, my direct messages.
Mm-hmm. If the players ask us, we just, not giving out any information.
Yeah. Someone tried. I won't name any names, but someone tried, and then they gave me a well played after because I was very
adamant about listen. Now, once the Invitational starts and the first round is underway,
I mean it's open.
We give the information out at that point. Like if you come up and ask after, like, hey, your match is done and over with, kind of thing. Hey, I'm playing against this person next round. What deck are they on? Oh, they're playing this deck.
Yeah. Just
like common courtesy, especially if somebody gets done really early and wanders around and looks at everybody else's matches. So no, don't you worry, they're on this. Yeah. Just so you're not feeling kind of upset that they might get the information over you. So we know our players now. Do you want to see some interviews, some of the deck list? Where do you want to go from here?
Yeah, let's take a look. This is so odd. I really wish we had games. We're doing so well talking about it.
We're going to try to show you guys one at the end.
Yeah, but
we got this build up.
Yeah,
look at how exciting this is.
Let's start with our season 1 Invitational champion.
Yeah, Jeremy Miller.
Jeremy Miller. Let's take a listen to his interview. See some pictures of him playing.
Am I to look at the camera or you?
You're supposed to look at me. Alright, hey, how's it going? This is going to be great. How's I am sitting here with Jeremy, seed number 8, snuck in right at the end. Missed a couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
Just to start off? Okay.
Missed a couple weeks, forgot how to play a couple weeks.
There you go. Nice. But we just have a couple questions for you, for anyone new who may not know who you are. And how long have you been playing?
I've been playing Magic since revised.
Okay.
So
There you go.
1994, I think that is.
Something.
20 some most of my life. It's like 2/3 of my life.
2/3 of your life. All right. Okay. And so you made top 8 twice now in our player invitational. But if you could pick your best result to date, what would that be?
Besides,
But, I mean, you can say this if you want.
Well, I need to find
Yeah,
the
but
best. That's certainly I guess the best at a major level that I've was in Philly. There's a Legacy Open earlier this year.
Okay.
So day 2 from that little place I got money out of it. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And that was Legacy, so
Right.
I enjoyed
Best
it.
format.
Yeah,
Yeah, I won't tell anyone that you said Legacy's best format. So you're playing Lyle, but is there anyone else that you would pick in the top 8 that you would rather play
Besides Lyle?
besides Lyle?
Any and all of them.
Any and all.
Yeah, Lyle's obviously a good player.
Yeah.
He's, I don't know, I can't put him on a deck either.
Right.
And just, I feel like not to say anything bad about all the other players because they're all fine, but I feel like I have to play tighter against Lyle than some of the other players.
Okay. All right.
Anybody but.
Anybody but. Okay. Cool. And so tell us something interesting that's not Magic related about yourself.
Is there anything interesting about me?
There's tons of stuff that's interesting about you.
Tell me something interesting about me.
I was super excited when I found out how competitive you were in fighting games.
Okay,
That's just me, you know.
I've done similarly to Magic. I've placed in a couple tournaments in fighting games.
Okay,
So,
alright.
yes, I'm a fighting game aficionado. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 being the best game. The reason I dropped out of college was Marvel vs. Capcom 2. How about that for a fact? That's
True fact.
Instead of going to class, I was playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I dropped out of college, and I'm now the man you see here today.
There you go.
It worked out.
It did.
No student loans. Still have a good career. So
I think you flashed money in a profile picture once, so I think you're probably doing all
well, I was
right.
in Vegas when I won that 10 grand.
Yeah.
I'm kind of lucky.
Yeah. Kind of. Well, dude, best of luck to you in the top 8, and we'll see you soon.
Right on.
So there you go. Season 1 Invitational Champion, ready to drop out of college.
To play some fighting games.
That's it. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Now, I will say what was funny about that interview was he turned my question on me.
I know. I'm glad you were interviewing him and not me, because I would have been just kind of blank face for a second there going, oh no, this isn't my interview. You're not supposed to ask me questions.
So tell us something interesting. No. Why don't you tell me something interesting about me? Okay, all right.
You know what? And you rolled it like you were prepared too.
Well,
that was really impressive.
I mean, fighting games. I got a soft spot for them, so I was proud to be able to throw that one out there.
See, I'm not good enough at fighting games. I like to watch fighting games. I like to watch a lot of games more than I like to play games because I'm just not good enough.
Yeah. Is that a Merfolk board you got there? Because that's That's it.
Actually, that was really smart of Jeremy too. In his picture that he took, he pulled out all. He's like, "Oh, hey, check out my lords here. You like those?
Yeah.
I'm not playing this deck, but I'm gonna make you think I am." And because some of the players walk around because we took pictures before, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna get pictures from all the players for everybody. Then we're gonna do individual shots and stuff like that." And when he did his individual shot, he's like, bringing these out just to
Lords of Atlantis.
check this out.
I've got them.
Smart play.
That's right. But let's talk about what he was on.
Ooh, are you guys ready?
Because
to see the truth?
This is the
Modern Lands is what he likes to call it.
Modern Lands.
Yep.
And interestingly enough, Bajuka Bog was his highlight, his spotlight card.
It's a cool card.
It is. Yeah. Definitely not the one that I would pick for this deck, though. Like if I'm thinking, so let's just break it down.
The usual thing that you're gonna pick for this is probably Primeval Titan,
right?
Or your Amulet of Vigor. Those are gonna be what you're picking most likely.
Yeah, I mean, because
maybe you'll be like, I really want to put Hive Mind as my picture, Azusa. But no, the Bajuka Bog. Okay, Jeremy.
Yeah.
All right, I see where your priorities land.
Well played. I see. But this is what he was testing at the IQ the week before.
This is the list he was on. Maybe a few tweaks to it.
I think so.
This was what he was on, testing out the ins and outs of it. It is a really complicated deck.
Yes.
Like there is spoiler alert, Jeremy and I did play recently with this and ended up going to time.
Naturally.
Naturally, I'm a Dirtle player. I like to sit back and Dirtle a lot unless I'm playing Infect. Even then, I kind of Dirtle more than most Infect players, so I can't really say much.
No, not you, dude. I don't believe that for 1 second.
So he's got... It's basically Amulet Titan is the deck, but he prefers lands.
And I think that's fair. Look at his land
You
base.
get to name it how you want, but there are a lot of specific one-ofs in here for the land base, while the rest of the spells and stuff, you usually have multiples. Now, the way this is working out better is Sakura Tribe Scout.
Scooter to his friends.
He's there to help out because we don't have Summer Bloom anymore. For good reason. And good riddance.
Well.
Now, so here's our Snake Shaman Scout. Because we needed all those subtypes amongst this guy.
Yeah, and I mean, but this is exactly what it is. Is he's the engine. He's a part of the engine to help kind of perpetuate what the Amulet Titan deck was all about months ago.
You're going to have him, or you're going to have Azusa, Lost But Seeking, and be able to play a bunch of lands. Generate a bunch of mana so you can get out of prime time. Get more lands. Give him haste, give him double strike, do these extra things, start attacking, get more lands. That's your main way to win. It also has that Hive Mind package where you can play Hive Mind, cast your packs, past turn, they die.
Sure.
So that is a factor going into it. As you can see, his sideboard is complete one-ofs.
That's it.
He even has some lands in there, too. Bajuka Bog's in his sideboard.
Nailed it.
Radiant Fountain's in his sideboard. And I think those are the only 2 lands he has. But what is Skyline Cascade? Oh, look at you. It's a land too.
I got you. Don't worry.
Target creature an opponent controls doesn't. Oh, I hate this card.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what that one
the
is.
one.
The one I hate. So 3 lands in his sideboard here that he can really bring in based on the matchup that he's playing, because you should be able to get lands out and be able to get them when you need them, like with your Primeval Titan, things like that. And having Azusa and being able to play your bounce lands. These lands that are, when it enters the battlefield, do this. Well, having your bounce lands gets to return those enter the battlefield lands. So you get to have multiple use out of them.
Sure.
Which is a nice little interaction there. Then he's also got big guys in his sideboard that he can bring in to replace like some of the prime times. Hornet Queen, Thragtusk are the main ones that he can start to bring in. Then he's got some extra interactions here. Malira, because of course he's got his Summoner's Pack, so he can get up a green creature.
Yeah.
Malira.
Yeah.
If you're playing against the Infect and you're a little bit worried about being able to get online in time, hey, let me just throw this out and just shut you down.
No worries.
We've also got Pyroclasm for some kind of board wipe effects there. Swan Song to help counter some stuff. Engineered Explosive, again, just like Pyroclasm, some board wipes. Pithing Needle, help you out against some annoying planeswalkers, help you out against some activated abilities that you just don't want to deal with. Seal of Primordium and Nature's Claim, destroying artifacts, destroying enchantments. Leyline of Sanctity, help protecting you. Spellskite, again, help protecting you. I think that's pretty much it for his board.
Yeah.
But
so go ahead.
he's just basically toolboxed up his sideboard.
Yeah.
His land base is kind of the toolbox aspect to the deck, where he can start finding these lands that he needs and try to do different things. But being the Invitational and knowing his opponent can be on so many different things, he really wanted a wide variety of stuff in his sideboard.
Muscles has a question for you.
If I were a Magic card, what would I be? Oh gosh.
Mine's easy.
Now that's different than my favorite Magic card.
Oh yeah?
I think it is. Do you think it's the same thing?
I mean, not for you. I don't know you well enough to say what is your favorite card. Also, the one that you would be.
If I was a Magic card, I would probably be Glistener Elf.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You would be the Glistener Elf?
I'd be the Glistener Elf. It's not my favorite card. My favorite card is actually Noble Hierarch.
Alright, so it fits.
Yeah.
When I go to Starbucks, I tell them I'm the master of waves. So,
yeah.
just saying.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. Wow, that's not as complex as I expected from you.
No,
I thought you were gonna give us this very elaborate and like.
No, I don't have it.
You know, I'm this blue card because I like. You know that turtle that got released in cons. That's me. I'm a Dirtle player.
I'm a Dirtle player. No, I say Glistener Elf and Noble Hierarch are the go-to picks for me.
Yeah.
Path of Exile.
Dude, I mean, hands down. Like, I'm a man of simple tastes.
Listen.
Okay?
I like to just get rid of creatures and give you lands.
I'm going to help you out.
Okay? Best card in
Anyone
Magic.
that doesn't know what the best card in Magic is, Path to Exile. Simple. Let me start it off. Exile target creature, period. That's it. Doesn't matter. I don't care what you are, what you're doing. It's a creature. It gets exiled.
Yeah, you can have a land out of it.
Yeah, you know what? Because I'm such a nice guy, okay? Because I'm a kind-hearted soul. I'm simple
looking
but
out
kind.
for you.
You can
Listen,
go get a land.
I know you like that guy. Here, let me give you something else instead.
This was
that's just as good because you can make more guys using this.
This 7/8 Tarmogoyf that you had on the field. I know you liked him. Go ahead and get a plains off of that.
You know, why not?
You needed that.
Or you can get a forest, swamp, whatever. I'll even let you pick.
Yeah, I'm just saying. There are things that we could. It's not hard.
It's not hard.
Path to Exile, best card in Magic, hands down. If
Good
you don't
question,
believe me,
Muscles.
yeah,
I like
good
that
question,
one.
dude.
So there's Jeremy's.
Jeremy's, and what I want to do is I want to go to his runner-up. I just want to take a look at this deck list that his runner-up from season 1 played. Ben Farabee. And I gotta know.
What is he on?
Oh my. What is this?
I hate Eric Bloom to be the title of this deck.
Wait, what? It's okay. So, he's playing Eric Bloom, and he brings red-green Ponza. And
his card that he picks is Molten Rain.
All right, 1 red, 2 colorless, sorcery.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe destroy target land. Just hands down.
Hands down, and he runs 4 of in there.
All right, so let's take it. Let's break this deck list down. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah.
All
Let's
right.
take our time.
4 Arbor Elves. Sure. 1 Birds of Paradise. Okay.
So Arbor Elf, for those that don't remember, it's 1/1 elf, untapped target land.
Okay.
Oh, forest. It is forest. Okay.
Untapped target forest. All right.
Sorry.
Birds of Paradise. We know what that bird does.
Yep.
Obstinate Baloth. Game line.
We've seen it in the board of
Yep.
a couple different decks.
Storm Breath Dragon.
Protection from white.
Yep.
Hey, your Path to Exile doesn't work.
Whatever, dude. I'll figure it out.
I'll make it work.
Yeah.
And you can make it monstrous.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. So let's just go down to the spells.
Okay.
All right. Let's look at this thing. 3 Bonfire of the Damned. Gross.
Haven't seen that since Jund and Standard.
4 Utopia Sprawl. Please stop. 2 Beast Within. 4 Blood Moon.
I hate Eric Bloom should be the new name of this deck.
4 Stone Rain, 1 Garruk Wild Speaker, 3 Harmonize.
I think that's the group that untaps lands as
Okay.
well. And the Harmonize, of course, drawing some cards, using green. Sweet.
3 Monvuli Acid Moss. That's a destroy target land, I think, right?
I'm pretty sure that one is.
I'm going to get close. CAD.
CAD. Give me the CAD.
2 Garruk Primal Hunter. Alright, destroy target land. Search your library. Wow.
Well, so hey, I'm going to kill your land, and then I'm going to get a land.
That's super rude.
Primal Hunter, I'm pretty sure that's the one that makes just Beast.
Yeah.
I don't know. So he's got 2 different Garuks in here. Yeah. +1, get a Beast. While the other one's minus is get a Beast. Just little nuances there. Then he can make worms too. -6.
Sure.
Here's some
Why
worms.
not? Why not?
For each land you control.
And then the green
Primal Command.
Primal Command.
Lets him draw cards and does stuff with lands too, I think. I don't remember. I never ran Primal Command. Let's find out.
So
God.
basically what you're telling me is I hate Eric Bloom.
That's what it seems like.
Or I want to hate out.
I want to win round 1 because there is a decent jump in prize payout from the quarterfinals to the semis.
True.
Okay. Gain 7 life. Put target non-creature permanent on top of its owner's library, so it could be lands.
Ew.
Target player shuffles his or her graveyard into his or her library. Search your library for a creature card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, and shuffle your library. So some pretty decent stuff.
Okay, so that's pretty decent.
And now his lands, there's a fun land that he's added into his list.
It's the mountain.
Well, that's that one of there. I was thinking,
just really
just that
sets it off.
Mountain makes it steals the deal. No, the Keswick Wolf Run actually. Again, remember those days of Jund and Standard?
No, it was before my time.
No, it was not fun.
Yeah.
Well, target creature gets +X +O and gains trample until the end of the turn. Red, green, and X to give that creature that +X. So, give your Obstinate Baloth now some trample, some extra damage. Your Stormbreath Dragon wants to push for even more damage.
Sure.
Why not?
Why not?
So that's just a nice little one up there.
His board. I mean, his board's ready for burn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's got Kitchen Finks in there, an Obstinate Baloth in there for kind of that burn matchup. Because you sit there and you kind of judge what people are playing. You're like, okay, well, Keenan's probably going to be on burn.
Right.
If I end up facing him, am I going to have stuff to deal with him? I don't know. I'm running, a decent amount of fetches and shocks. I need some life gain then, and that's where to match up.
Yeah.
He's got an extra Bonfire of the Dam against some of those creature decks. Like if maybe TJ's on Affinity, maybe Tim's on a creature-based deck. 2 Sudden Shocks are in there. That helps against those Infect players that might be running around. Destructive Revelry, that's pretty nice against Affinity. Also can interact with some of those other pesky decks running a lot of artifacts. Also has added benefit in the Tron matchup. So, Thrun the Last Troll, our hexproof guy. I think he's like a 4/4. You can also regenerate him.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty solid. Pyroclasm, again, just more board wipes in here. And Grafdigger's Cage. That's an interesting one.
So, I mean, you have to be in preparation. By the end of our season, Dredge has hit the scene. It's a thing. You've got to be prepared for it.
It exists.
But also, we do have some control players running around.
Yeah.
Like 1,
Nahiri.
2, Nahiri control. So, you also have to just be prepped for, hey, I know that some people in the top 8 can put together the Nahiri control list.
I better be ready in case.
Just in case, I need to stick this 1 Grafdigger's Cage in my sideboard. Just 1 slot.
Mm-hmm.
But, looking at this, it also seems like he hates me too.
Yeah. He seems just kind of...
Oh, Stormbreath Dragon. Protection from white.
Wants to hate out a lot of people.
Thrun, the Last Troll.
Hexproof.
Get your Path to Exiles out of here, dude.
Not dealing with that.
Not cool. Not cool.
Yeah. So that's where Ben is at.
Yeah. So let's learn a little bit more about Ben.
Okay. Hop over to the interview.
Hello! Hello? To another interview. Because you were here last time.
It's true. I was.
First off, congratulations.
I don't know how I got here, man. I have no idea.
Hard work and perseverance, right?
None of those things.
Those things work. So the questions for those that don't remember are going to be the same questions, but hopefully Ben will have different answers.
We'll see.
We might find out. So, as always with a Magic interview, what is or when did you start playing?
Well, this is actually going to be the same one. You messed up on this one. I started playing, I think it was 2004. It was when Onslaught was still in. Moon came out, I think. I didn't really know what sets and blocks was at that point. It was literally my first year of high school, and I walked in and just like all my friends were playing Magic, and I was like, "What is this?" Actually, one of those people was another member of the top 8. Derek Southers was there.
Oh, that's cool. Fun fact of the day.
Yeah, and I played on and off since then. Like, not really getting into bed until like probably like late 2014 when I decided that I was gonna play Modern with 2 of my friends. Like get into the same like addictions that they have, which maybe is this is all your fault. And of course, I tried to start off with Amulet Bloom, and that wasn't my good.
Very complicated deck to try
that's
out.
not a deck to start playing on if you wanted. Of course, you can't play that deck anymore.
Variations of it. So you've been playing for a while now, but what would be your best result to date then?
My best result would either be I stopped in Yu-Gi-Oh! A while back, or last season when I was really low.
Yeah, second place for season number 1.
Yes.
Cool. So you were battling out against a rival to start things out.
The same as last time.
Same as last. Is this the same interview?
And somehow I didn't wind up getting on camera with either of these. Like the glove match never winds up on camera.
No. So if you could pick anybody in the top 8 to play, who would it be then?
I would pick my buddy and roommate and like fellow Chick-fil-A aficionado who's over off camera, Tim Reidenberg.
Okay.
For 2 reasons. One, because I like competing with Tim, and like we do a lot of practice, but like we do it for realsies for something that's for like the actual guys would be cool. 2, I really need Tim to beat TJ. The way that I have set myself up, I think I may have made myself soft to like whatever TJ is playing. I have no idea, but I assume it's aggressive. And also, I just want to see Tim do as well as he can with Russia.
Nice. I like that.
It's also a decent matchup for me.
Okay. Yeah, you guys did play test together to practice.
Yeah, so I have all the reasons we want Tim to play Tim.
Okay. So tell us something interesting about you that is not Magic related.
Well, I don't have a third nipple. I'm constantly losing these, and it's not my birthday.
So all the fun facts from season 1.
Yeah, no, the opposite of season 1. Fun facts. I suppose a fun fact would be I'm also a really lover of video games. I think my collection of Steam games is probably a rival in value to my collection of cards. It's not, and both are formidable.
Wow. Okay. That's a good fun fact. Well, best of luck in the top 8. Hopefully that you can live your dream and battle in the semifinals then.
Yeah, thank you.
I like to change the charge.
So that thing that he says, I'm constantly losing these? Chapstick.
The video showed him holding up a thing of chapstick.
That's it. Chapstick. Sorry about that. Yeah. Call back to our... I didn't start the fire. It was always burn. The chapstick is something our end boss can't be without.
Yeah. He always uses the entire thing of chapstick.
Never loses
From season
it.
1. That was the fun fact that he provided to us. That's some gross stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I like it though. So that was a breakdown of Ben. Getting to know a little bit more about Ben. We got to see his deck that he's playing.
Sure.
Who's next?
Well, let's hop over. Let's take a look.
Because I don't remember.
So we've talked about Ben. We talked about Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about his opponent that he tried to hate out.
Ah.
His rival. Let's talk about Eric.
Okay.
And
He's on Tron.
if there was ever a metagame call,
Oh, this is it.
this is it. I think.
More ley lines of sanctity.
Yep. Really. Just he was really hoping for Ben to play Burn again.
Yeah, that's what happened last season.
Yeah.
He got hit with Burn. So
we just kind of have to think about kind of where we are, right? Ben just assumed that Eric would be on Tron. And
yes,
Eric was really hoping that Ben was going to play Burn. And someone was upset.
Happens. Yeah, someone was upset
Someone
from the
was
two
upset.
of them. This is what happens when you try to make those metagame calls like that. Like, the ley lines don't really help game one against Ben's land destruction deck because most of them are targeting his lands. They're not targeting the player, and the ley line protects you. You basically have hexproof.
Yep.
Your lands don't have hexproof.
Definitely not.
Your creatures don't. No, just you.
Strangely enough, those lands, dead.
Yeah.
Destroy target land.
The rest of his list is pretty much the same, more or less, from what he normally runs.
Yeah, there's a couple changes. When I was typing this up, I was trying to think in my head, like, what different is he bringing? And really, it was just kind of shaving on some numbers.
Yeah.
And moving cards in and signing cards out to make room for the ley lines. You see less Karns than normal red-green Tron lists, I believe. Less Ugins as well. Well, maybe not. Ugin may be the right number. But yeah, so some things shifted. No World Breakers in the main.
No World Breakers. Yeah, I mean, like, the Karn's pretty much the big, like, shave down there.
Yeah.
Like you said, no World Breaker in the main. Yeah, so just adjusting some numbers to kind of fit in those ley lines.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Now, what about his sideboard there?
So his sideboard, I mean, Pithing Needle, that's a mainstay. You've got the Karn Lemrays. His gut shots, that's like his piece to resistance, right? He's always had the fear for Burn. I'm sorry, Infect.
Always had the fear for Infect.
Infect, not Burn. I guess you could say Burn too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for this particular match, yes.
Yes, he has the fear for Burn, but the gut shots are for Infect.
Yeah.
He's played enough Infect in his life to know that that's not a good matchup for him. So he sides in those gut shots so he can just get it out of here. Cut it out. We're not playing this game. Let's get rid of those creatures. 2 Relic of Progenitus. Ready for some control matchups. Being able to eat up the graveyards. Dredge as well.
Yep.
We talked about the World Breaker being in the sideboard instead of in the main.
Yeah.
It's normally like 1-1. I think.
For the red-green list.
Yeah.
That's a solid way to go.
Nature's Claims, always good for affinity. Boggles, I guess, if you ever decide to play a Boggle list, which we did see on the first season.
We did.
Chris Bauer brought that.
Brought that for the Season 1 Invitational.
Spellskite, I mean, obviously, if you don't have a Spellskite in your sideboard, what are you doing? And Slaughter Games, which is also kind of an Eric Bloom card for me, at least.
Yes, no, that's a consistent thing Eric likes to have access to. Just to mess with some of those combo players out there, maybe have some little bit more protection to just shut you out. So that's his list is really just designed deal with Burn, and then he's got the normal stuff that he runs. And play Tron. Yeah, like that's just what I'm gonna be doing. Turns out his list is not set up as good against Ben's list as he would have liked.
Man, that's like you saying interesting. It turns out that his list is just not as
It
good.
turns out that his list
against
is interesting.
This 60 card Tron hate deck. You have lands, you rely on those lands, get rid of them.
Sorry, you're not going to have Tron assembled.
I
ever.
can't even stand to see
You
them.
look like you could use some mountains. Or no lands at all.
Or no lands at all. You choose. Do you want mountains or do you want no lands at all? I'm leaning towards no lands at all. But that's what Eric brought to the top 8. We will definitely see what...
Yeah, we'll get some discussion about how his matchup went.
Yeah.
We're just going to run through all the players' interviews, all the players' tech list first, and then we'll get some discussions about the actual matches and stuff.
So hopping over to the other side of the bracket.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at Derek and Keenan.
Dun, dun, dun. So I did not call this.
No, not at all.
Did you have any inkling that he was going to be playing this?
Not a clue.
Okay.
So Derek, our resident ad nauseum player, I would say he's consistently played ad nauseum
and knows how to play it best.
He does, and also we talked about played a little lantern control, but Dredge was definitely a left field pick. I knew that it was kind of together for anyone. You know, he's friends with Lucas. Lucas has been playing it, so he had access to the cards. But I mean, this is the deck that's just been doing so well, consistently putting up wins.
Yep, and we just talked about a new card that we did in our Crack-A-Pack.
Cathartic Reunion.
Bam, that's it.
That's it. Discard 2, draw 3. Right, so being able to fill that graveyard up. But let's look at this list and let's talk about how does it do against burn.
So
we're still under the assumption.
that Keenan is on burn.
Right.
In that mindset, it actually can help you out because these things that your creatures, if they die, they're coming back. So don't have to worry so much about that. Your lands, you're not going to be taking that much damage from your lands because you don't need that many lands. You can, it's got those Copperline Gorges in there, which are those, speed lands. I don't know, what's the term for those? I can't remember. But, if you have...
2 or fewer.
2 or fewer.
Okay, yeah.
You get to play them on tap.
Right.
So you really don't need that many lands for this deck to function. So you're not going to be taking a lot of damage from, the shocks and the fetches and things like that. So that is a thing to kind of think about. We've got Bridge from Below that can be able to help him out here, which generates zombies.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you can be able to get a bunch of guys out relatively quickly by, the objective here is to try to get this Grave Troll into the graveyard as quickly as possible so you can start dredging 6.
Easy.
Shouldn't be that hard with how your deck's set up. There's a couple other cards in there that you really want to worry about and stuff like that, but that is a big thing. And so people are talking in chat about Dredge is a great matchup against Burn, Gnaw to the Bone there. Gain 2 life for each creature card in your graveyard.
Yeah, that'll do
That's a sweet one. And there's, of course, 2 in Derek's sideboard there.
Yep.
He's also got some other solid stuff. Abrupt Decays in his sideboard here. 2 Thoughtseize, 2 Dark Blast, 2 Ancient Grudge, 1 Rakdos Charm, 1 Conflagrate, and 1 Lightning Axe. So the last couple stuff, extra damage against creatures. We also got some ways to be able to deal some damage, get some stuff in the graveyard. Oh, I skipped over Greater Gargadon, didn't I?
Gross.
So,
well, yeah, I was curious because he was asking about Greater Gargadons, and I was like, "What are you?
Why are they running this?"
And now I read it and I go, "Ew." Suspend 10, 1 red, sack an artifact creature, land, remove a time counter. Okay, so that's what we like to call value.
Yeah, because you're running Life from the Loam, which lets you get lands back from your graveyard.
Sure.
So you can be like, these lands don't matter.
Right.
I don't need these lands. I'll sit here, float a green and a black or green and a red, sack all my lands to Greater Garganon, play Life and Loan, get them back, play my land for turn, sack all these creatures. Or you can even sit here and be like, I'm going to sacrifice my Blood Gas.
Well, that's it. I mean,
Sweet. Here's my land for turn. Oh, bring them all back.
Yeah, you get all these free creatures, and then you sack them to Gargadon, and he's a 9/7.
Mm-hmm.
Please go home. Stop it.
Stop it.
If you're not dead by the amount of creatures that are flooding out of the graveyard, you're going to be dead to the Gargadon if it sticks.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So that's, again, the objective of this deck is to throw its creatures into its graveyard and then bring them back to your hand by self-milling. So, like, Golgari Grave Troll, you have to dread 6. So, instead of drawing, you'll take the top 6 cards of your library and put them in your graveyard. Then we've got cards like the Narcomoeba, which, when it's put into your graveyard from your library, you can put it on the battlefield.
Seems good.
1/1 flying.
Yeah.
Sweet. We've got the Blood Gas, of course, has that landfall trigger. If you play a land, you can bring it back. What about Prized Amalgam?
Prized Amalgam is kind of
newer guys.
Yeah, he's out of Shadows over Innistrad, right? And I'm going to pull him up in chat for you guys.
Oh, Muscle's even already starting to talk about him. You knew that's what our next topic was going to be.
3/3, 1 blue, black, and a colorless. If you're gonna cast him for realsies, whenever a creature enters the battlefield, if it entered from your graveyard or you cast it from your graveyard, return Prize Amalgam from your graveyard. It's a lot of graveyards to the battlefield tapped at the beginning of the next end step. So basically, if you have any interaction with your graveyard and it is a creature, it's done.
Yeah, so like
it's coming out.
That Narcomoeba just came out. After you dread 6 this turn, well, at the end of your turn,
go get
Prized Amalgam comes back too. Oh, you played that land, Blood Gas comes back. Hey, guess what? Prized Amalgam comes back.
I mean, there's just so many triggers with this deck about getting the Prized Amalgam out, and that's kind of what I guess. I mean, when they unbanned Golgari Grave Troll.
Yes.
Right. I think
originally banned for.
Was it like 6 months, 8 months ago?
So, that sounds about right. Yeah.
I don't know if it's been a year. Maybe it has been a year.
Oh, maybe. Was he unbanned?
Was it at around the same time as Birthing Pod?
Was it him and Wild the Call?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that seems about right.
It's been a while, and Dredge hasn't been on anyone's radar until I think Prized Amalgam.
So Prized Amalgam and
Insolent
Neonate have been the two big ones that have helped push Dredge back into Modern.
And we've seen not only reprintings of Tormenting Voice, but this new card, Cathartic Reunion. These are cards that are fueling the Dredge deck to just new heights.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun deck for those that like to run this sort of style. The new versions of this deck are not running Bridge or Garganon, and that's true. A lot of the more streamlined stuff have since cut those, but I think going into the Invitational for this point, running those in here seems fine. I think that's the way to go for this sort of matchup and kind of in the mindset of what you're going to be facing. But yeah, that's a really good point there that Dark Sky is bringing up, is that some of the newer versions aren't running it. And again, you do have that option of playing it the way you want. Like, you have now that variety. Okay, you know what? I really like Bridge from Below, so I'm going to make sure that's still in my list. But we were talking about the new red card that you discard 2, draw 3. Definitely helps fuel this because, again, you're trying to get all those creatures into your graveyard so you can get those triggers, you can get those dredges going and really kick things off.
Yo, applesauce, man, with the follow. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate that.
So, any other thoughts with how Derek's stuff is set up?
No, I'm just really curious now as to what Keenan's playing.
Yeah. But also, I hate Dark Blast.
You hate Dark Blast is such a good card. It's right up there with Path to Exile for me. But let's take a look at a couple more interviews, see who we got going on here.
Who we got next?
Should I look at you or
You
look
can
at the
look
camera?
wherever you want to look. You're in charge right now. So, hi guys, we're back with Eric for another interview because you made top 8 again. So congratulations.
Yeah, I don't know how I did it.
Hard work,
Apparently
perseverance.
winning really a lot the first 5 weeks is enough because the last 5 I did pretty bad.
No, that's okay. You still made it in. That's what counts, right? You're in there solid. The fourth, third. Okay,
Yeah, thanks.
Even better. I can't look. How many people are in the top 8? 8 of them. I got to keep track of everybody.
Yeah, that's literally your
Oh,
job.
I counted too. So it's going to be the same questions that we got, but maybe you'll have different answers potentially. Hopefully, maybe better results from them. But so to start it off, because it's a magic interview. When did you start playing?
I started playing very early on, but it was casual back when I was like in middle school and nobody else was playing at the time, so it was me just getting cards and not actually doing anything with them.
This art is awesome.
But actually, like building decks started in original Ravnica and then in Time Spiral and around that area. Was when it was all kitchen table stuff.
Yeah.
I had a Sicilian Convoke deck that would beat anybody at kitchen table.
So when did you broaden out and start going into the competitive side, not just kitchen table?
Competitive side only a couple years ago. Like I started, just a couple of friends wanted to try the standard, and we did that for a while. And then we got to a standard, which didn't look fun to play in. And I watched Modern get played a lot, and wanted to jump into Modern. So I was making good money at the time, so I was just like, I have $500 to I want a deck.
Give me that one.
Give me a good one. Came in to buy Affinity, but somebody bought all the cards out of the case the day before I came in. And it's like, well, I have almost all of this living end deck put together, so it's like, yeah, play that. That sounds fun. Destroy lands and play creatures out of my graveyard.
Yeah, it seems like a good way to do things. So that kind of goes into what is your best result to date?
Still 17th and that open.
Cool. I mean, that's a very solid standings there. Like, that's hard to top that one right now. So
yeah, I'd have to actually, go to more actual events, which I'd like to do, but work.
Yeah, it's hard. I understand that. So from our top 8 that we've got, if you could pick anyone to play, who would it be and why?
I'm gonna say Rippenberg.
Okay.
Because I always have fun playing against him. Like last time it was you, because I always have fun playing against you. Yeah. This time it's Rippenberg.
Cool. So you could play him if you beat your first round opponent and he beats his first round opponent.
That's a
in the
big
semifinals. So
I gotta play Ben again.
Yes.
Ben always seems to be like, Ben guesses what I'm gonna play, and I never guess what Ben's gonna play.
Seems to be the case. So what is one interesting fact about you that's not magic related?
I don't know if it tops the third nibble.
Okay.
But I am technically related to Orlando Bloom.
Interesting. So how is the relation?
I met him once way back when we were both a lot younger, and like he's like my grandfather's brother's son's kid.
Interesting.
Like he's like second cousin.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have his contact information or anything. It was like, hey, dude, you remember that time we went to Outback with our grandparents and had chicken fingers?
No, just me then.
All right. Yeah, could you loan me a couple million? I got this idea, you see, where I don't work ever again.
It's a pretty fun fact. I like that one. All right, well, best of luck in the top 8. Hopefully we'll see you battle against him.
Hopefully.
All right, so first off, congratulations, Eric, for making top 8.
Thank you.
So we're doing the Magic interview like we always do for our top 8 players, and since it's Magic related, we have to start out with when did you start playing Magic?
Can't remember the year, but it was whenever Onslaught first came out.
Oh, okay.
So around 14 or 15 years ago.
Yeah. That's when Tim started playing as well.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So were you playing like competitive then, kitchen table? Like what was your kind of progression?
I started very briefly with casual. I got into competitive Magic pretty quickly. Before that standard ended, I was playing Red White Slide.
Oh, okay.
It's my first real competitive match.
So then, what was your best result to date then?
Best result to date depends on how you look at it.
Okay.
Top 8 in JSS when I was 15.
That's pretty cool.
It only had 9 people in it.
Wow.
So
better than that one guy.
I did not get last. But more seriously, probably day 2ing Grand Prix, New Jersey.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So I ended up going 7-2 day 1. So no buys.
Yeah.
So I had to do it the hard way.
Oh gosh.
And then I went 3-3 on day 2. So ended up 10-5, which was 1 match away from pro points, and I missed cashing by 8 spots.
Oh wow.
So that was probably my best tournament result.
Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. But so Modern Magic Mondays, of course, is modern related, not legacy, so you don't get to show off your skills in that regard.
Oh, no.
But from our top 8 players that we've got here, if you could pick anyone to play, who would it be and why?
Probably Lyle.
Okay. What's that?
Stiffest competition and get it out of there early.
Ah, that's smart. I like that. Just kind of smooth sail the rest of the way through.
Yeah, Lyle would be the player I would want to face most early, just to get it out of the way.
Yeah, not have to stress about that impending match kind of thing. All right, that makes sense. And how about one fun fact about you that's not Magic related?
Fun fact that's not Magic related. For a while, I carried a chess rating in like the mid 1500s.
That's really cool.
If I would have applied, I probably could have made like expert forms.
Wow. But didn't decide to do that?
No, since I was never going to be like good enough to make money at it, I decided to like go to college instead. Not play chess 8 hours a day every day to get good enough to do that.
Okay, that makes sense.
I was like strong enough to be like a club level player.
That's really cool. Awesome. So best of luck in the top 8, and hopefully we'll see you back here for the winners interview.
All right, thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we're
We
back,
can't,
guys.
We can't even bring you video, but we can keep ourselves muted. Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, right? Wasn't that an interesting fact?
But he can't get the hookup.
No, he can't get us the hookup.
Man. Do you think Orlando Bloom plays Magic?
He should. Everyone should play Magic.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is what we're gonna do.
Everyone should play Magic. Whether you're playing kitchen table, I didn't say everyone should play Modern, right? I said everyone should play Magic.
If there was one place, you should have said everyone should play Modern.
But not everyone can afford Modern right now. So I left it open, and everyone should play Magic. You should eventually get into Modern because everyone should play Modern. But if you can't play Modern yet, just play Magic.
Yeah,
I'll let that slide. That double strike deck in Standard, play that for a little bit, and then go, man, I wish I could do some more degenerative stuff.
Jeez, I wonder what else I could do.
What can I do? Modern. Wow, do you see these cool decks that are running around?
What?
So
I can kill a player on turn 2?
That's a thing?
Anyway.
Speaking of killing players on turn 2, shall we look at more deck lists?
Jeez, well, you could rent a deck. That's true.
That
is a thing I've seen.
Really?
Yeah, you can actually. There's a couple companies out there that put together these decks from top to finish. Your Tarmogoyfs, whatever. I mean, I say Tarmogoyf because that's the one card we don't have.
We can build every deck except for anything with Goyf in it.
If you want a Tarmogoyf deck, don't come to us because we don't have them. But yeah, you can rent them online to play.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like some sort of credit check or something like that. It's like buying a car, but because I mean, hey, Tarmogoyf's kind of expensive.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tarmogoyfs, I'm ready now. I'm ready to talk about my boy.
Yes. Okay.
I gotta know. I want a sticker. Buy Jund and sleep on the couch for a week. Something that can also be done. You can do that. It's not something I would be interested in, but you can do that.
You know what? That could happen too, guys.
I want to know.
Oh, that's true. So I owe Julia, TJ, and forgot his name.
Jeremy?
No. I gave Jeremy his stickers. He plays Grixis Delver in Modern.
Charles?
No, it's not.
Johnny.
There you go,
Johnny.
Johnny. You knew who I was. See, I knew you'd get there because I couldn't.
All right, guys, close your eyes.
We didn't have it out?
We didn't.
Wow, the one person
I know.
you forgot?
Don't
what?
tell him.
I'm going to tell him.
Don't tell him.
I'm going to hit him up
Whoa.
on Twitter right
Hold
now.
on.
You're
Front Royal Rules. That's his name.
Muscles wants a sticker too. Everyone needs stickers.
What?
So, surprise! Keenan's not on burn. Mind blown. Yeah, so everybody was sitting here going, man, Keenan's on burn.
Yeah.
Keenan's on burn. And he was telling people, I'm on burn.
I'm on burn.
I'm on burn. Look, I've only got one deck. I'm not playing anything else, guys. I have one deck. Why would you think that I'm on something else? Hey, surprise! I'm borrowing TJ and Julia's Infect deck.
Wow. Okay. So.
So what do you think?
I'm so proud of him.
You're right.
That's all I can say. He picked the right deck.
Yeah, like this is a great one for him to pick to really mess with your opponent, because the cards that you need to deal with burn are very different from the cards you usually need to deal with infect.
True.
I mean, Spellskite works across the board in that sort of sense, but most of the we saw the main board ley lines and stuff in like Eric's list, and it's like, okay, you really hate burn.
Yeah, we get it.
We get it. But
now this, what I find interesting about Keenan's choice to play infect is what has Derek played consistently in both season 1 and season 2. And if anyone knows what it's like to play ad nauseum first round of a big tournament, it's the real Nan Man here. Why don't you tell everyone at home why you want to play ad nauseum when you're infect?
So ad nauseum is a really good deck for stopping creature-based decks, because normally that regular damage they're trying to do with you isn't going to kill you. It has zero effect against infect. All that stuff is like, you don't die from regular damage, then you start taking infect. Well, I'm only dealing infect, so I don't care. It works really well. And you're much quicker than them usually getting set up.
True.
Because you're killing them those turns 2, 3, 4, and by then they're just now getting set up to start getting their combos going and trying to kill you. They could go crazy ham and go off earlier than that, or you could have a slower hand where you only are like, all right, boom, here's 5 damage or something like that, and then you don't draw any decent pump spells, and you're like, all right,
yeah,
6,
this was fun,
7, oh, here's a Pendlehaven, got you 9, oh, now I'm dead. Like, that can happen. For the most time, though, it is 85% chance that you're going to be beating those ad nauseum players. I put those other percentages because their sideboards could be very hateful towards those sort of decks or things like that, and you'd be facing a better player. But for the most times, Infect is going to be winning that matchup. And most of the times, the Infect players are cheering and super happy when they are playing those matchups, because they know that there's just nothing that you can do. One other thing to note is the way that Keenan has set up his list is a little bit slower, a little bit more, hey, I'm going to take my time, make sure I'm protected, and then I'm going to get you.
Mm-hmm.
Those 2 main board Spellskites helping us give that indication, and the 2 Wild Defiances in there. He's also got Double Twisted Image. One way that he's going to be helping himself out. Kind of be able to kill against Spellskites, kind of mess up his creatures. If he's got Pendlehaven, he can switch their power and toughness.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just an extra trigger with Wild Defiance. You see the way he's got his list set up is really reliant on the Become Immense. Runs 4 in there, 4 mutagenic.
Less might.
Only has 2 might, 3 groundswell.
Okay, so he's more looking for that. Let's play a land. Groundswell. Gotcha.
Yes. Instead of the...
It's more of a gotcha. That's kind of what Groundswell says to me versus mutagenic. Mutagenic growth... I'm sorry, not mutagenic. Might of Volcrosa. Might of Volcrosa says, hey, +4/+4. This is happening right now.
On the main step.
On the main step.
Otherwise, it's only +2.
Right. So if you're going to respond, I'm going to need you to do it. I'm at least bringing 5 at you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But the Groundswell, it's like, play a land, attack, 1. Just kidding. Here's 5.
Look at all this.
There's just different nuances to the Infect deck, which Nan and I are no strangers to. Yeah. Nan is the aficionado on Infects, played for years.
Yes.
I joined his cheater ways probably about a year ago.
Right? It's so great. I've gotten Julie on board, now Keenan.
There's a lot of Infect running around.
Bringing them around. Hey, listen, you want to play a really awesome deck and make people hate you and you're going to have a blast with? Play Infect.
Play Infect.
Scumbag Man. Got the seal of approval.
Man, that's an emote right there. Scumbag Man. This is very interesting. How is the Dredge matchup for an Infect player?
So with the way it's set up is, unless he has the Narcomoebas, your Inkmoth Nexus are pretty much fair game.
Mm.
And then even after that, after he blocks once or twice with it, the Narcomoebas, not really going to be coming back because it's only comes back to the battlefield if it comes from the top of your library into your graveyard. You have Apostle's Blessing to essentially sneak yourself in there. Because you can give them protection from black, which is most of the time the creatures that are going to be on the battlefield. There are no distortion strikes or slip through spaces in Keenan's list, which is another way to kind of help you out here. So you're in this sort of matchup, you're going to have to rely on Blighted Agent and Inkmoth Nexus to really get the job done. Unless you get set up with a nice turn where you're able to sneak by where he's only got black creatures out and you sit there and are able to Apostles and sneak in. But for the most part, because you have those big windows where you can sneak in damage, it looks pretty nice for the Infect player in that first match. Post sideboard, it makes it more difficult because that's when the extra Dark Glass come in. As well as the extra removals, like we saw with Derek's list. He also had Thought Seizes and other annoying cards that he can be able to bring in against you. So that makes it tough. Keenan's list for his board is a pretty straightforward list. That's where he's got the Distortion Strike that he can bring in. So that extra one against the Dredge matchup where you're going to have a lot of creatures, you're going to want to bring that in. He's got Dismembers, of course those single targeted kills. Spell Pierces are nice. Dispel's nice in other matchups. You're not really going to need those really against the Dredge player. Radiant Corruptor, cool if you're worried about artifacts, not so much in that sort of matchup. 3 Grafdigger's Cage though.
That's maybe Keenan and Kuru had a better idea of what was going on Derek's side than we did.
Maybe it's that they're sitting there and they knew that Lucas had been borrowing that deck. And
right.
They're like, all right, as lists stand, which of the decks that Derek has would be best against Burn? Well, probably this list. So let's gear it in case he's running Dredge. If not, and he's running Ad Nauseam, we're still set up nicely. So I think that was a smart meta call for Keenan.
Yeah.
To go this round. Very much set up to win his round 1 against Derek. And whether
it was Ad Nauseam.
Right. Even if he's playing against Lantern Control, that would be the much harder one.
Yeah.
But he has the Pithing Needle. He's got the Viridian Corruptor. you also see by the fact that he is running 3 Grafdigger's Cage and not the Nature's Claims here, he is really 100% saying, I'm not going to face Lander Control. I'm going to be probably facing Dredge or Ad Nauseam. So.
So, TJ mentioning in chat, Keenan wanted them for Snapcaster Mages, actually.
Oh, that
He
could
elected
also
for 3.
be an effect of what he knew some other people were playing.
True.
So, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, Snapcaster Mage is a card.
It is.
It's a card for sadness for the Infect player. I can say that.
Yes.
Much chagrin.
But Keenan's list is set up quite nicely for the Invitational.
I think so. So I'll be interested to see kind of what else comes of this. So TJ's talking in chat, so I think it's only fair.
We bring up TJ's next.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look. Let's see what he's packing. There it is. Nope, that's not it. Everyone look away. Don't look. No, quit looking.
Stop.
Oh my gosh.
I have so many deck lists to show you guys.
Quit. Hey, there it is.
Hey, got there. What TJ is not playing?
Wow.
Aggressive deck? Actually, so
Go ahead.
Ben and Tim were all like, all right, we pretty much have TJ on one of two things.
Right.
He could be playing this list, but for the most part, he's probably playing Affinity or Infect. And that's, in their mindset, what we need to build around when battling against TJ.
Yep.
So, and I think that's a big part of why TJ played this list too. Because he was picturing Tim being on an aggressive deck as well.
You want to play an Aether Vial deck? Go ahead.
Right? So he's opting for the Jeskai Flash, Blue-Eye Red Flash, Nahiri Flash style. Or is there no Nahiri?
There are no Nahiri. So this is what's
Okay.
interesting about this list.
Oh yes,
is
spell color one.
Is because he has taken out the Nahiris and really the control, like the slow control of the game. Took out the combo, quote unquote, and he's elected to play 4 Spellcaller in Restoration Angels, and Vendilion Click, and Snapcaster Mages.
Yes.
And the Spell Queller is what I wanted to give as the highlight card, but I think it was either... I think TJ told me to put Snapcaster Mage.
And I told you to put the different art Snapcaster.
Right,
And you
yeah,
didn't
that's
like
right.
that.
Yeah, no, I wasn't going to do that to him. 2 main tech negates, so boss. So this is the thing, like, Spell Queller, if you guys don't know, this card's the real deal.
Yeah, I need to pick up a playset.
I put it in chat for you guys. 1 colorless, 1 white, 1 blue, 2/3 with flash, flying. When it enters a battlefield, exile target spell with converted mana cost 4 or less. Stop. When it leaves the battlefield, the exile's card owner may cast that card without paying its mana cost. So
Stop.
Yeah, no, but this is the thing. Like this is the type of Magic that I love. And it's not because it's exiled. I know what you guys are thinking, Pat the Exile.
He likes to exile
but it's just
stuff.
it's so finite.
It's so rude. When I'm sitting here going, I'm about to win. Become immense. And you're like, nah.
Spell Queller.
Spell Queller.
Give
Like,
me
no,
that spell.
I have my like vines and stuff to protect my dude against your path. Why are you playing this dude to counter my spell? Stop!
I mean, this is what it is. It's such a great creature. Because not only is it an effective body, it doesn't pass the bolt test.
You're right.
It doesn't pass the bolt test, but
a 2/3
2/3 flyer.
It's got evasion. It's a decent threat that you can easily get a clock going with that guy.
So I can only imagine what TJ had in mind when Tim is trying to play all these creatures, and he's just like, "Nah, dog, I'm taking that from you. No, you're not doing that. By the way, here's this Restoration Angel. Now I'm going to beat you to death with all these flyers.
And here's like my Snapcaster. Oh, I'm going to flash it back in with Restoration Angel and cast another spell. And another spell.
Yeah.
And do all these crazy stuff. He's even running a main board engineered explosives. You're right. It can't hit become immense because it's 4 or less. Look at me not being able to use a good example.
Everyone in chat keeping an
It's
honest.
like, you're wrong.
I can't wait to tell you.
Yeah. But like the way his flash list is set up, you're really going to be wanting to do stuff on your opponent's turn.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but that's it. Flash.
That's
it's
the
done.
whole
Everything.
objective of it. I'm going to be dealing with what you're going with. And, like, that helps with the main board negates in there, the cryptic commands, remands, like Path to Exile, Lightning Bolts, Lightning Helix there. Pretty much the only thing that you're going to be wanting to do, hashtag Dan is wrong, on your turn is play Searing Visions.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Play a land, Searing Visions.
Okay, great.
You know,
yeah, let's draw some of these spells I'm going to cast on your turn.
Engineer Explosives, the only other thing that you're going to want to do on your turn. Like, you have the option to kill him with Celestial Colonnade as well.
Sure.
Because that's a decent beater.
Hey, by the way, it's still a flyer.
It still flies.
It's got the evasion.
So this is a sweet list. I like this list a lot. I think I like the blue, white, red flash more than I like the Nahiri control, personally.
I would agree with that.
That's just kind of my style more than just, all right, here's Nahiri, uptick.
It has
Emrakul.
Yeah. See, the thing about the blue, white, red flash list is I think it's like the sweet spot for me.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know which edition in case TJ used. TJ, if you're in chat, dude, help us out.
8th edition.
Is the fact that it's that sort of like tempo.
Yes.
Okay, when I love blue, white, red as a color combination, but I am bad
your
at...
Mantis Rider was like your
Yeah,
favorite.
Hold on, guys. I got your back. This guy... It was sad he never saw enough modern play. But, actually, you know what? He may not be bad in this list. We'll get to that later. I can find a couple spots for him. It's tempo. It's 1 for 1.
Yeah.
I'm going to get rid of a creature, and then I'm going to play the Snapcaster, and then I'm going to get rid of another creature, and then I'm going to attack with the Snapcaster. It's just like a pound for pound.
Yeah.
I can keep up with aggressive decks, but I can also play the control game. It's not pure control where I'm just like, yeah, no, go ahead. No. No, that's fine, go ahead. No. That's the sort of control that I can't play. This is something I can get behind. He is modern playable in Humans.
There you go. There's your next deck. Humans.
Thalia's Lieutenants.
So let's talk
Draven
about
Investigators.
the sideboard here.
Sure. So his sideboard...
Couple 2-0s, majority 1-0s.
Yeah. First off, if anyone doesn't know what Blessed Alliance is, get on it.
You should be picking those up as well.
Because Blessed Alliance is such a great card, especially in a format that
I hate it.
is there's a lot of infect running around.
There's
right
a lot
now.
of cards that you know are good when I say I hate them. Like, that's another way to look at it.
1 white, 1 colorless instant, Escalate 2, which just says pay this cost for each mode chosen beyond the first, and choose 1 or more. Untap 2 target creatures, but really what we're going for is that target opponent sacrifices an attacking creature. Cool. Nan's going in. He's got the Blessed Alliance already. Everything's
Guess
great.
what?
Vines is ready.
Doesn't work.
And TJ just comes in and goes, Blessed Alliance. And Nan goes, Sadness. Let me get rid of this creature.
Yep.
I mean, it's so good in this metagame right now.
Yeah.
Runed Halo, like Lyle was talking about.
Yeah. That's another 2 of that he is running in there. White and white enchantment. As it enters the battlefield, name a card. You have protection from the chosen name. Can't be targeted, dealt damage, or enchanted by anything with that name. So remember that sorcery card that I showed you about getting an artifact?
Yeah.
That helps you in that situation. BT dubs. That's another talk for another time, but that's a sweet addition in there because, like, if he's playing against Infect or something like that, he could sit there and say, Not that he's that worried about it, but he could sit there and say, you know what, I'm going to name Blighted Agent.
Sure.
I'm going to name Glycerin Elf, Inkmoth Nexus, you know. Do something like that. Or if, like, he knows that he's playing against, let's see, what are some of the other decks that we've played? Some of the Dredge players, you know. He could start targeting some of their creatures or things like that. Valakut is another thing that would work out if he's worried that he's going to be facing down like a red-green Scapeshift if he's playing against Primeval Titans. Yep.
He was ready for Ben
Scapeshift. So that's a nice one. He's got 2 of them in there. But yeah, like you have to be worried about the different decks that people are playing. Rest in Peace here.
Clearly, Dredge.
Mm-hmm. Stony Silence. Tron.
If Tim got frisky and wanted to play Affinity.
That would also be beneficial. Worship.
Okay.
Basically, your life can't get reduced below 1 if you have more creatures than your opponent. Or maybe it's just if you have at least 1 creature. I can't remember the exact wording on it. But you have all these flash guys that are going to bring in, so you should have a creature. Wear and Tear, again, enchantments and artifacts removal. Pithing Needle, those activated abilities that are pesky. 2 Engineer Explosives, you already got 1 in the main, but added a little bit extra in there just in case. 2 more Dispels, just that little bit of extra in certain matchups there. Maybe the Control Mirror, maybe he plays against Infect. Supreme Verdict, for of course, like the Dredge decks or some of those ones that are going wide. You can be able to blow up their board, feel really great about it. Anger of the Gods, kind of same thing.
Yeah.
Both of those are on our bingo board, by the way.
Fun fact.
If you board wipe and kill off, I think I said 3 creatures. Maybe I made it easy and said 3 creatures.
Probably.
With a board wipe.
The Engineered Explosives. Let's talk about what he could be expecting from Tim. Because I'm thinking about the count.
Okay. So with Engineered Explosives, he's got a 3-color deck, so that's the max that he can blow up.
3. Can he hit all of the creatures?
In a Merfolk deck, in Tim's Merfolk deck, yes.
Okay.
In Mono Blue, you have Master of Waves.
Okay. That's 4.
AKA Muscles.
Yep.
So you can't be able to hit that. But apart from that, you can hit Murray, you can hit all those lords, you can kill off everything that you want, kind of thing.
Sorry for Muscles, just curious.
But if he's playing against Affinity, it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, Master of Ethereum is the only thing that's bigger than what he can blow up with Engineered, but he has all this targeted removal, like Pithing Needle, or Wear and Tear, and he's also got the Stony Silence and stuff like that.
You can do better.
M10 or some earlier core set, you can do that. Nice. So I really like TJ's plan going into it. It's a really solid deck choice for the Invitational.
And it's different.
It's different. It's something that most people are not going to expect TJ to play.
No. Because
that is like low on their radar on the options. Because they're like, all right, he likes those aggressive decks. He likes those kind of creature-based decks like Affinity, like Infect, so he'll probably play one of those. So should we talk more about TJ's opponent? Are we at that stage now?
So we got 2 more deck lists left.
Yes.
So yeah, I think now is the time. TJ and Tim were our quarterfinals match that we could show. Unfortunately, we will not be able to.
Yes.
But let's take a look at his list. Let's see what TJ was surprised with. Oh my. Really?
So this is like, hey, if he's on Affinity, if he's on Infect, I've got him. Plain and simple.
Huh.
And this was the big discussion that we were having. That they were like, Tim came to me, hey, I've been thinking about this list for the Invitational. some variants. Is there stuff that I can borrow so I can be able to play this?
Sure.
Like, yeah, no problem. I'm not going to use any of these stuff for that Tuesday night because I'm not playing on that Tuesday night.
Naturally.
You're more than welcome to be able to use this stuff for this. So he's like, all right, I need stuff that can kill Affinity pretty easily. I need stuff that can kill Infect pretty easily. Well, Grixis seems like a great set because I would rather face a Jeskai or Blue-White Red player over Grixis if I'm Infect. Personally. I mean, some players feel differently, but like all their kill spells are so annoying, and then they've got these big creatures that just get in the way that I don't want to deal with that. So big dumb creatures, Gurmag Angler.
Hey, don't be that way. It's a zombie fish.
It's a zombie fish with no abilities.
Look.
It's a big dumb creature. Okay.
All right.
He fits the mold for that. I don't know any other. He's a big dumb dude. Right.
We'll wait and see what happens. Two
zombie fishes in his list. 1 Tasigur, 2 Kalitas, 4 Snapcaster, 2 Pia and Kira. Kalitas is just amazing in this list. 3/4 lifelink. If a non-token creature an opponent controls would die, exile it, and you get to put a 2/2 black zombie token onto the battlefield. Then you can pay 3, sack a zombie or a vampire, and put 2 +1 counters on them. So, pretty fun, pretty exciting. Why don't you give us a rundown about his spells?
Sure. I mean, this is like a targeted removal player's dream. This is what is the highlight of the Grixis list. 4 Lightning Bolt, 3 Terminate, 2 Culligan's Command, 2 Electrolyze, 1 Murderous Cut, and then as a backup for control, you're looking at 4 Thought Scour, you're looking at 3 Inquisition of Kozilek, 1 Cryptic Command, 2 Mana Leak, 2 Spell Snare. I mean, these are all just like the premium cards that you can get out of blue, red, or black in Modern. Like, if you're playing these colors, why aren't you playing these cards?
Yes.
You have to be playing something completely out of the norm for a deck
to not want to run these cards.
Right. And even, like, if it's any indication, look at his land base. You know, he's got, 10 fetches?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, 10 fetches. He's got some shocklands. You know, there's 2 steam vents, the 1 blood crypt, the 1 watery grave. But in the creeping tar pits, the dark slick shores of Sulphur Falls. I mean, this land base is just prime and ready for any sort of shenanigans that he's going to be bringing with this control list.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the amount of 1 drops that he's got available to him. 4 Thought Scours, 4 Lightning Bolts, 2 Serums, 3 Inquisitions, 2 Spell Snares. Like, he's set up that he should be able to do something on turn 1. And then as it goes on, you know, of course, casting his dudes like Pia and Kira, Tasker, Gurmag, still having access to all these hateful cards. Terminates and Kolgun's Command, Electrolyze, things like that. He liked Cryptic. A little bit harder in a Grixis shell to be able to cast the Cryptic because it is costing 3 blue.
Yep.
But something that he was like, I just like Cryptic Command. I want to fit at least 1 in here. Fine, that's your list. You play how you want to play. Sideboard, very similar in the mindset that TJ took, a lot of 2s and 1-ofs. But you can see the last card that's on his list, very specific to what he thought TJ was on, and if he wins and if Ben wins, how he's going to battle against Ben. 2 and 0, of course, instant counter target artifact or enchantment. If TJ is on Affinity, that'll help him.
Sure.
He also did some testing against Ben and found out if Blood Moon comes down, it's pretty screwed.
Yeah, I mean,
So he needed something in there to help him out in that sort of situation. But why don't you talk us through a little bit more of his sideboard and some of the other interesting cards that he's got? Because he's got a lot of 1-ofs in his list.
Yeah, so, I mean, looking at the one-ofs, you have the one is at Staticaster, clearly Sadness for any creature-based deck, especially Infect, is at Staticaster. You'll blow out
I hate it.
a lot of times. One Vendilion Click, the Dreadbore, right? Creature, Planeswalker. So he's prepared for Tron. He's prepared for if, Nahiri gets a little frisky and is trying to bring Emrakul out. Surgical Extraction. I just love Surgical Extraction. I think, it's a card that can be played in pretty much any deck.
Yeah.
Lose 2 life, get rid of that card, that pesky card that's been causing you trouble for the past couple games. It's exiled. Easy enough. And then you also get the information of looking at your opponent's deck. So say, for example, you're like, oh, okay, cool, Nan's on Infect. But you know what? What else is in his deck?
Yeah.
Well, let me just rip.
What did he bring in the sideboard
Let
here?
me rip out this Blighted Agent, because I'm playing Grixis Control, right? So I've killed at least one Blighted Agent in my time. Let me just go ahead and get that guy out of here. 2 Anger of the Gods, that's looking for more of your wide spread creature decks, zoo, things like that, if people were deciding on that.
So, Affinity again. Then we've got that Dredge list.
True. Fulminator Mage, good against Tron.
Yes. Needed some extra stuff against Tron to help him out.
Especially if anyone's playing a 3-color deck is getting a little bit more... I don't... What's the word? I always use frisky. That's my interesting.
Some people get a little bit greedy with their mana base.
Greedy with their mana base.
Tim is a little bit more greedy with his mana base, especially with him putting Cryptic Command in there. Again, that's why he's got the annuls, because he knows if he plays Ben and Ben's able to get that Blood Moon out, he's blocked out of the game pretty much there and then. So, yeah, that's Fulminator Mage is a good idea in there. Thoughtseize.
And then, rounding it out, 2 Thoughtseize just to add to the discard package that the Grixis Control list is running. So.
Yeah, and then also, of course, pairs well with that Surgical.
Yep.
So,
I'm interested. I'm curious as to how this is going to go, because...
So now we know Tim and TJ battled in a control mirror. Grixis versus Blue, White, Red.
Right.
Flash. There's still one list left.
That's one list.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got one list left. It's our end boss.
End boss, first
Numero
place
uno.
into the Invitational from Season 1 and 2.
Clearly has to be on Bant Eldrazi, doing so well at
the GP
in Indiana, right?
Day 2.
Yep, made day 2 with it, and let's not even be shocked that it's got to be Bant Eldrazi.
Oh, another Infect player.
Oh.
It's like it's the thing to do right now.
Interesting. He wasn't on Bant Eldrazi?
He wasn't.
Wait a second. Hold up.
And his list is a little bit different than Keenan's as well.
True. You can kind of take a look at Lyle's list, and some of the things that stick out to me right away. Distortion Strike in the main.
Yep.
Let's see. 1 Groundswell and 4 Might.
Yep.
All right, so and that's sort of the thing that you're going to find with Infect decks is as they play with the numbers. They kind of, I'll take 3 Groundswell at this tournament, but maybe I'll just run the 4 Might instead for this one. And the Spell Pierce. I think the biggest thing that I've seen here in this list compared to Keenan's, which we saw earlier, was the one of Spell Pierce.
And the Dismember main board.
Yeah, and the Dismember. I mean, these are I enjoy and I like the picks. I'm not an all-in Infect player. So I like seeing a counterspell. I like seeing a little bit of removal to add to my list. But otherwise, I mean, this is your normal. This is your normal Infect list. The creature base is a little bit different. He's running no Spellskites in the main.
Yeah, so Keenan's a little bit slower. 2 Spellskites main, 2 Wild Defiance main.
Yeah.
We're seeing none of those for Lyle. And he's getting by adding in those extra cards. Those are basically our flex spots that are available to the players on how they want to build their decks. Creature base is always going to be the same. Land base is pretty much always going to be the same. You might vary up on the fetches that you use, but that's pretty much it. Pump spells, every list is going to become immense right now. every list is going to run Mutagenic right now. Now every list is going to run Vines right now. Then we have the difference on, and every list is going to run Cataxium.
Mm-hmm.
We have the difference on Groundswell, Might of Old Corrosa, Distortion Strike, Spell Pierce, Dismember. Those are where your numbers are going to change. Some lists don't have them, some do, some have less than others. Twisted Image, you're going to see at least a one of in almost every list. So set up a little bit more aggressive than Keenan's style for tonight. How about his board though? Because that's the 2s and the 1-0s and stuff like that.
To answer Venture's question, unfortunately we cannot. The camera was not persuasive and did not work well with us for the Invitational, and the quality is just shot. We didn't find out until after the fact, and we tried our best to kind of make it work, but really it's something that we couldn't put our stamp of approval on, and we didn't want to put you guys through that. It's very choppy. So we just wanted to bring the Invitational to you guys in a different light, just really talk about it, and show you guys the deck list, give the interviews, but no games tonight, unfortunately. I apologize. But looking at Lyle's sideboard, this is where your flex spots come in, because if you don't see it in those spots that you were talking about, you're going to see them in the sideboard. So you've got 1 Dispel, and then 2 more Spell Pierce. So he's become a little bit more controlling if he needs to be.
Yes.
So he's definitely playing a slower Infect style game. His Wild Defiance are sitting in the sideboard instead of in the main. So and that's something I like.
Yeah.
It's really game 1. You want to be able to just kill them as quickly as possible, and then prepare for the worst on games 2 and 3. So putting in the Wild Defiance protects you against those targeted removal spells, if possible. Hopefully he doesn't run into Tim.
Lightning Helix, things like that you got to worry about with having Wild Defiance.
Yeah, don't run into Tim, because Terminate seems good.
Yeah.
Nature's Claim, obviously for your affinity, your enchantment matchup.
And you notice he's only running a 1-of.
Yep.
Too, because he's pretty much like, all right, I'm on the opposite side of the bracket. I don't have to worry too much about it. I can shave down on this, knowing I'm not going to be facing affinity from my opponents at this side of the bracket. So,
Spellskite, there's the 1-of Spellskite that we were looking for. Pithing Needle, obviously. I feel like Pithing Needle, at least for me, is like having a Spellskite in your sideboard. If you don't have it, what are you doing?
It's becoming very clutch, especially for an Infect sideboard.
Right.
At least in my opinion, and you're seeing it across the board in a lot of other Infect lists as well.
Spell Pierces go with the Dispels. The 1-of Pulse of Barasa. I enjoy this card. 3 cost, 1 green, 2 colorless. And return target land or creature from your graveyard. By the way, also gain 6 life.
Yes.
Not in that order.
Added benefit.
I think. Maybe it is in that order. Lyle talking about thinks Keenan's better set up for the mirror with more skites and twisted images, which is true.
I was having a conversation with, I believe, Julia and some other people the night of the Invitational, discussing both players' lists, because I had seen them because we were going over the images and stuff like that, and my breakdown between the two was, I think Keenan has a better chance game 1 with the way that his list is set up.
Sure.
But I do feel that Lyle has a better chance of taking the series overall if they end up battling, because of his experience with the deck more than Keenan's experience.
Okay.
That sort of thing.
Sure.
Like, having that kind of experience is a big deal in a mirror matchup more than a lot of other matchups. So just a little, when that sort of discussion that we were talking about, and
And this right here,
okay.
yeah. So Lyle giving us a little insight that 1-of Declaimer.
I might have to start running that 1-of in there, or just save on
It's
a
super
spell
smart.
pierce. It is.
Being able,
Chalice, I hate Chalice.
yeah.
but I think there's cards that I hate more than Chalice, but Chalice is a really good card.
Well, nothing hurts more when they're like, you got a Nature's Claim in hand,
Uh-huh.
and then they Chalice, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
That seems fine.
And like, well, I guess I have to wait for my Viridian Corruptor to pop up.
Here comes that Viridian Corruptor.
Yeah.
Which is also a very solid infect creature that I found.
2/2.
Yeah.
3 mana.
2/2 for 3 mana. Get rid of an artifact. Except when you have your Spell's Guide.
I mean, it's
sad.
no 1/4 vigilance.
Hey, look. Everyone at home, I'm telling you right now, nobody actually played what I was preparing for.
Okay, so that's interesting. Lyle, and that's something a lot of the players went into it expecting a lot of different stuff. So that would be interesting to see what people actually thought going into it. I know Derek was shocked when he sat down across from Keenan. Shocked.
True.
Besides Bloom and TJ. Okay. This
is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the new deck. Bant Infect.
That's
coming.
It's happening. All right.
3 Kitchen Finks, obviously, to gain some life against burn. Another solid beater for the normal damage plan if all of your infect creatures fail out. And then the 1-up Distortion Strike, just a little bit more evasion on top of the 4 Blighted Agent.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Let's go to the interviews.
Let's do it. We got 4 more interviews for you guys. And we're just
going
to roll them out.
Shotgun them out for you.
Alrighty, we are sitting here with seed number 2, TJ Schillenberg. Dude, how are things?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. We just got a couple questions for everyone at home who may not know this pretty face. So, how long have you been playing Magic?
Return to Death Rush album was new.
Okay.
So,
alright.
I guess was it like 3 years maybe? Something like that? I don't know, maybe more.
Maybe longer.
Maybe a little
longer, maybe.
Time flies. When
Time flies.
Slinging spells, I guess.
That's true, that's true. You've done super well. Not only here, but also, on the tournament circuit, playing in a lot of SCG Opens, things like that. But if you had to pinpoint, what was your best result to date?
Best results. Pretty sure last year.
Okay.
I unfortunately did not make day 2 of the main event, but I got second place in the Sunday series. So that's pretty cool. Several Invitational qualifiers, second, third, fourth, and I picked up my first last week. So
there you go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
10th Open. DC.
Okay.
Modern. That's probably the newest thing I've done. So.
Sick. Alright. And so you're playing Tim. You're going to be on camera for the quarterfinals. If it's not Tim, or if it is Tim, if you could pick anyone in our top 8 this season, who would you want to play?
Oh man, so many good opponents. I was like playing live. It's just challenging. Very good player. Fun play. I like everybody. I'd say it's Lyle.
Okay.
Just like challenge.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Sick. All right. And so, tell us something interesting about yourself that isn't Magic related. Yeah.
Just like a random fact.
Just a random fact for everyone at home, just to kind of get to know you better as a person, I guess.
It's not super exciting. I guess it'd be like an audio thing. I am like a tick against toothbrushes. Bristles, like the bristles sound like when you're making the cringe.
So you're saying it's like when you're actually brushing your teeth.
Yeah, or someone else.
Or someone else's.
Someone is brushing their teeth and comes in the room. I was like, yeah, I don't know why. It's been that way since I was a kid. So when I brush my teeth, I have to like listen to music, or I have to like actually
close your ears.
I don't know, but I like vomit. Like it doesn't make no sense.
Yeah.
It's just been that way since for as long as I can remember. I was getting sick.
But dental hygiene is still important to you either way.
It's still important, so I have to brush. But I usually blast the music or run the faucets or something. But it's a little weird, I know. But it's been like that for as long as I can remember. Like sweeping too, sweeping any bristle, nails on chalkboard for some people.
Man,
that's my kryptonite, I suppose.
Wow.
Weird.
Well, hopefully we won't have any bruises or anything come by on the camera. But no brushing their teeth. Best of luck to you, dude. Hopefully you go all the way, and we'll catch you later.
All right, thanks, sir.
This is the most exciting interview that I can give right now. I am sitting with my pick for season 2, Keenan McDonald. Dude, how are things?
They're great.
They're great. How are you feeling?
I'm here.
He's so nervous because he thinks I'm going to ask him different questions. But we're brought you here to do an interview just for our viewers to get to know the players in the top 8, get to know, what human is you can. That's not my question. Okay. So, give or take, how long have you been playing Magic?
Maybe a little over a year. Only been playing consistently about a couple weeks into your guys' season 1.
Okay, all right. So a couple weeks into season 1 of hashtag MMM, and you're in, you're competitive, you're ready to go. And so, what's your best result to date?
Since I've only been playing for such a short period of time, I haven't been to that many big events.
Okay.
I did top 8 the IQ Sunday.
Okay.
That just happened.
Nice.
So I guess
That right there, top 8 in IQ.
that's it so far.
That's it. But you're shooting for the stars.
Up and coming.
You're gonna be first place tonight.
First place tonight.
First place tonight. That's what I want to hear.
5-3 is first class edition.
That's true. 5-3. I remember that.
That's nothing to scoff at, literally.
Nothing to scoff at. TJ's pushing back. My boy. If you could pick anyone in the top 8 to play, who would you pick and why?
Anyone. I think everybody's really good. I don't think any person's particularly going to be a harder challenge than the other. So I'm just here to play it.
Cool. And so, for everyone at home, just like we talked about, tell us something interesting about yourself that maybe isn't magic related.
As cliche as it is to say, I'm a vegan.
You're a vegan.
Yes.
All right.
I've been vegan since I was 7.
Okay. All right. Nice.
I feel like this vegan stereotype is to say that they're
So the fact that you are a vegan and you tell people that you're vegan, that's the stereotype?
I'm fulfilling the stereotype.
Okay. I like it.
Good because I've known Keenan for a few months now and I had not known.
There you go. We're learning new things. Dude, congratulations again.
Thank you. I couldn't have done it without my support from Brett.
I'm not paying him to say this at all. Best of luck in the top 8, dude. No pressure to get to the first place.
I'll be there.
All right, so to start things out, hi Tim.
Hello.
Congratulations on making the top 8.
Thank you very much.
It's great to see you actually make it in there because you just barely missed out season 1. So
1 week.
Yeah,
1 week.
That's all it took. So because it's a Magic interview, we have to start things out with how long you've been playing Magic.
I started playing Magic on at least Onslaught,
Okay.
and then took a bit of a break in Rivera and didn't really start playing competitively until there was pretty sizable gap in there.
That's a little bit of a change. Okay. But you were playing like casual table
I
display.
had some cards, had some friends who play. Didn't really know what draft was. No idea what the formats were. We literally threw cards in.
Good
Then
way
I
to do
started learning. And
I forgot you had a third.
it. So that slides over to the second question of what is your best result to date?
I didn't.
I
Thinking about it, that
followed
would
twice.
probably just
on Tuesday
wipe
Night
the
Magic.
floor with me.
Okay.
And then I think I wanted to GP Counter here seal.
Ah, yes.
I am going 4-0. First 4 rounds. Didn't have to play against JD at table number 4.
Yep.
Which
Yeah.
was insane. She stopped me pretty hard, but it was awesome. Like, then the next 4 we dropped. But I was excited. I was better than that.
lose.
All right. So what sounds like no major ones coming into this first top 8 that kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
That's cool. All right. So talking about the top 8, if you could pick any of the top 8 members to play, who would it be and why?
I'd probably say with TJ.
Okay.
We've played a lot together, and I really enjoy matchups. You started out when I first was learning to play, I couldn't beat TJ, and now it's gotten to the point where we are pretty 50-50. Which I enjoy that. Like, he'll crush me me or I'll crush him, or it'll be a tough fought match.
Yeah, back
And then we're talking about the end. What'd you sign for? What's your thing? I tried this time, and we're both learning from it. That's to me, that's worth it.
Yeah, that sounds like a great player to play against then. And then to round this up, tell us something interesting about yourself that's not magic related.
Well, I can play 12 musical instruments.
What are all 12?
Flute, clarinet, saxophone, whole family clarinets. Euphonium, trombone, tuba, percussion, drum set, piano, guitar, bass, and I can sing.
Ah, there you go. Fun fact of the day. We can just have Tim design all our music now for the show.
You know.
We actually use music on
Yes,
the show.
yeah, sure, yeah.
Well, thanks for doing the interview with us, and best of luck in the top 8.
Thank you very much. What's going on, guys? I am sitting here with seed number 1 and boss Lyle Wolves. What's going on, dude?
Feeling good. Feeling good about the tournament.
Sounds good. We just got a couple questions for you to start off. Give or take, how long have you been playing Magic?
20-something years. I started in summer '94. Super casual player until about 2010.
Okay, all right.
Treat it a little more seriously.
There you go. And what is your best result to date?
Well, one thing I didn't mention last time I did this interview is at Grand Prix Charlotte a couple years ago, I went 12-3. I actually started that tournament 10-0.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool. I just got 4th place in the Legacy Classic down in Richmond, SCG.
All right. So we know that you're paired up with Jeremy, but if you could pick anyone in the top 8 to play, who would you pick and why?
Alright, so I actually want to play against Keener.
Yeah.
He's such a good guy, so such a good sport. And I also just feel a little more confident playing against him.
Alright, that's a good answer.
No offense.
And go ahead and tell us something interesting about yourself that isn't Magic related.
Alright. So I remember on this last time in the interviews, a lot of guys mentioned that they play video games.
Yeah.
Here's my video game story. I was also a video gamer.
Okay.
Until my freshman year, Florida State 2000. Alright, so I just got in there with the T3 landlines, right? I was so excited. Diablo 2 was my baby. And I almost lost my scholarship, almost flunked out. I give up. Done with video games. And then I started playing music instead. But yeah, as far as video games, that's what made sense.
Oh. Well, dude, Lyle, good luck in the.
Thank you very much. Right on. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So there's our interviews with our players.
Did you guys remember that time that TJ said that he didn't? I feel so bad. Like, what an awful phobia to have.
Yeah.
You
Can't
know,
handle teeth
people brushing their teeth.
brushing.
Nails on a chalkboard.
Oh gosh. No thanks. We had 2 people that gave video game facts.
True.
All related to college and
Dude,
dropping out.
I'm just saying, like,
so Lyle didn't drop out, but he was like,
I can't even
lost
like,
his scholarship.
I can't imagine like Lyle playing Diablo 2. That was
more where you were like, what?
Yeah, I was like, Diablo 2, do tell.
Do you know it's coming out in HD soon?
Fun fact, I just found out today when we did this interview. HD, so you got time. And college is done, dude. You can get back to it.
You can get back into it and remember how awesome Diablo 2 was.
Yeah.
Some really interesting facts, like Derek being like Mr. Chessmaster over there.
Yeah.
Keenan's a vegan. Tim plays like 12 instruments. Ben has spent pretty much as much money on video games for Steam as he has on Magic.
I've seen Ben's Steam collection.
I haven't yet.
That's a
I've
lot
heard
of money.
Rumors about. He's like, yeah, I mean, you know, just like every time there's a sale, I'll just be like, oh, I heard this game is cool, and I just buy it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played like half the games in my library, but I have a giant collection. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, just imagine like this wall of like physical copies of the games, and then multiply that across this wall. You can't see this wall, but this wall right here is longer. Yeah, I'm just saying it's a thing. It's happened.
Whose other facts did I miss? Was that everybody?
Well, you mean Eric and Orlando Bloom.
Oh, that was the other one.
Yeah.
Orlando Bloom. 6 degrees of separation to Orlando Bloom, guys.
This is how it ends.
Didn't know that.
So yeah, those are our top 8 players.
Uh-huh.
We've got the deck list that they're playing.
Got the
So
deck list.
you guys are here for the actual results.
So let's go talk it.
I'm up to 407. Gross. Gross. That's gross. Let's hop over. This is our bracket.
Dun, 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 dun,
Lyle versus
dun.
Jeremy, Derek versus Keenan, Eric versus Ben, and TJ versus Tim.
So quarterfinals.
We have all the information
known
now.
as the big shocker.
That's right.
For most players.
We did a fantasy draft.
Oh, we did.
We did a fantasy draft.
It was cool.
For the Invitational.
The 3 players that got closest to the result. Nobody got all of them correct.
No one.
But we had 3 people that were the closest. TJ, Julia, and Johnny.
Yep.
And we owe you guys stickers.
That's why. That's why you owe Johnny a sticker. But, so we did a fantasy draft. And I want to say that it was it was an upset. People were coming back, they were like, oh, so-and-so? Really?
They won?
They won? Or so-and-so lost?
What?
What? This just screwed up my entire bracket.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at it. Let's see what our semifinals look like.
Yeah, so boom, big shock, big surprise came down for a lot of people when they sat down and saw the decks they were playing. But semifinals.
Well, let's speculate before we change. Let's speculate. We know all the deck lists now. TJ and Tim are on camera. Unfortunately, we can't show it. But who's gonna take that match?
I like TJ's list, the flash list, because it's more controlly.
Mm-hmm.
Over Tim's, personally. So I'm gonna say TJ.
Okay, all right. And
I know this is the hard one.
Unfortunately,
Eric versus Ben.
Unfortunately, yeah, Eric versus Ben. I'm gonna go with Ben.
You're gonna go with Ben.
I'm gonna go with Ben. I feel like the I hate Eric Bloom deck.
It's got
all the right answers for what Eric's bringing.
Dredge versus Infect. With the way Keenan's is set up, I do like Infect in this matchup.
Right.
So no, it's
We're
not on
going
Bird.
with Keenan.
I'm going with your boy.
Go with my boy Keenan, and Lyle versus Jeremy. This is more of an interesting one, I think.
Infect versus the Modern Lands.
Right. Which it was the first deck we talked about. So if you guys are
Amulet Bloom
are just joining
Amulet
us,
Titan,
it's basically the Amulet Titan deck, but it's more of a land spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
I would say.
Yeah, he's got 3 lands in his sideboard that he can bring in to help him out in different matchups and things like that.
I like.
I mean, it's going to be very dependent upon Jeremy's draws.
Yes.
If he can have some explosive stuff and get a Primeval Titan out quickly, like turn 1 Amulet, sets himself up nicely kind of thing, sweet. But it's going to be very dependent upon the draws that Jeremy gets, I feel.
Okay. So harder head pick.
Well, because it's the Invitational, I think you have to go for head pick, right? Over hard pick?
Sure.
Or do you go all the way around?
It's tough to say. I mean, I'm with Keenan all the way to the finals.
There is my pick.
Yeah.
Heart and head all the way.
It's Keenan.
So I'm gonna say then Lyle for that pick.
All right.
Because it's very dependent upon the draws for Jeremy to be able to get Lyle taken down based on the quick list that Lyle is running.
All right, let's see it. Let's do it. Whoa.
Ooh. Okay.
Wow.
So the big one we knew was Ben was going to beat Eric.
Sure. I mean, that was unfortunately that was kind of he was a shoe-in.
Yeah.
Now I will say this. Fun fact: they went to game 3.
They did. I was watching a lot of their stuff, and like very, very hateful stuff was going on Ben's side of things. But Eric able to kind of grab his way back in there. Wormcoil Engine, pretty good creature. Even at one point where he's like, yeah, I'm sitting here with all these lands, but now I'm up to like 7-8 lands, so it doesn't really matter that they're all mountains. I'm still able to cast all my stuff that I really want to. So, but Ben ended up taking that.
Yep.
Tim takes out TJ. And that one went to game 3.
Yep.
And that match lasted over an hour because everybody else's match was done and we were waiting on that one to finish. But again, it's a control mirror. And pretty much game 3, the big deciding thing that came down to was...
Feels bad.
A Thought Scour.
That's it.
Targeting TJ and milled away basically his 2 removal spells.
It was paths, right?
I couldn't remember exactly what the removal spell was.
I'm fairly certain it was the best card in Magic. Paths Exile.
Or it could have been like a Helix or something that he needed to deal the extra 3 to kill him. I don't remember. But I know that like the 2 spells that could have saved him got milled away off of Thought Scour.
And it wasn't even like a I need to Thought Scour you. It was just like I need to fire. I'm just gonna fire off this.
I'm gonna fire this Thought Scour, draw a card. It was Path.
It was Path. So it's just I need to fire off this Thought Scour, draw a card, and it's Path. The 2 cards that TJ could have used to pull himself back. He Thought Scoured me on my upkeep.
Wow.
Feels bad, man.
That hurts. So Tim sneaks his way off the power of that Thought Scour.
Clear the way. He has lethal on crackback.
Yeah.
So
very tight, close match between those 2.
Moving up to the top side of the bracket, Derek and Keenan.
Theirs also went to game 3.
Uh-huh.
So, Derek very surprised on what Keenan was playing.
Yeah.
And everybody, when they found out that Keenan was on Infect, was surprised. That's what made it, too. What?
That was why he was always my Season 2 pick. He's here to shock and awe.
Yeah, and he made it work with that Infect list that he was running. I believe he was saying how he was a little bit nervous playing against Derek at first, because I don't think... pretty much every match that he plays is going to be kind of a newer experience from the Infect side of things and not the Burn side of things.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different concept. And it's a little bit more high stress being in this top 8 invitational aspect of it.
True.
So he did well sealing that up. Lyle versus Jeremy.
I think that was probably...
They were the first match to finish.
It was sewn up pretty quickly.
2-0 for Lyle.
Yeah. And I didn't... Again, we don't watch any of these matches beforehand because we want to be as surprised as you are when it comes time to actually watch the games.
Right.
So we took extra responsibility and said we're not going to watch any of the games. And then something like this happens, and we're like, damn it.
Yeah.
We should have watched the games.
Should have watched some of the... That's why I was watching a little bit of Eric and Ben's. Just so, we would have that discussion. Oh, okay, here's also, at this point, okay, here's the semifinals, here's what happened in this match kind of thing. But I didn't really see much of Lyle versus Jeremy. Jeremy said afterwards that he lost 0-2. We didn't play Magic, is what Lyle says.
So it was pretty one-sided.
Yeah, it makes it seem like
no
maybe Jeremy had to mulligan a little bit, and then Lyle just here's turn 3, turn 4, got him. Which happens. But the roommates get battle each other like they wanted.
That's it.
Lyle and Keenan in an Infect mirror in the semifinals. Where Keenan's deck is favored game 1 against Lyle's version.
But... I will say this.
Okay.
As much as I'm rooting for Keenan, there's one thing about the Infect mirror that you have to be careful of. And it's going all in. You have to be prepared for any sort I think it can go either way. I've played you enough to know that it's tough. The Infect Mirror is tough, and you have to be reserved, but then also, I feel like you just kind of have to go in, too. You know,
Sometimes you do.
It's either way. Like, it's either you have it or you don't have it. And battling against someone else's vines is tough. And, yeah, TJ mentions in chat, Keenan and Lyle's match was awesome. The things that I heard, I was like, I knew it went to game 3, and I just don't know. I don't know. But what about the roommates, Ben and Tim?
So they had been doing a lot of testing together to prepare for this. Not only, hey, you use this deck, you use that deck, so we can do these practices, assuming that that's what they're on, but also against each other in that speculation that we're going to have to face each other. And we were talking about the annul being in the sideboard there to help him out in that sort of situation. Tim was saying how he was a little bit nervous for this because like he's kind of greedy with his mana base, being that 3-color deck that he's got. So as long as he can prevent Ben from sticking like a Blood Moon, he felt okay. So this is going to be a tougher one. Ben was feeling confident to face Tim over trying to face TJ in this situation.
Okay. All right. So let's see it. You want to make picks?
Nope.
No picks? You just want to go right to it? All right.
Because I don't want my heart picks to be crushed.
Sounds good. Let's take a look at it. Who's going to the finals? Oh my. Tim able to pull it out.
He did.
Was that another 3-game series?
I don't know because I believe that one was on camera.
True.
No,
yeah,
it wasn't.
No. They both were.
Oh, they both were.
No! Yeah, both of these games on camera, guys.
We forgot we recorded all 4.
We did. We were super prepared for this season, and now we can't show you.
Oh, it hurts.
They were both recorded.
So I have no idea any stuff for Ben or Tim.
So TJ and Lyle talking in chat. TJ kind of saying, with perfect information, he thinks that Keenan could have stolen game 3.
Proper sequencing. Okay, so we've talked about sequencing on Modern Magic Mondays quite a lot. If you're new to a deck and have only a very little amount of experience going through the right sequencing, understanding the nuances of your deck, it makes it very difficult where it could be the difference between a win or a loss on just proper sequencing. Not only that, it's very hairline in the mirror matchup of Infect. So that makes sense that it favored Lyle then in that game 3. Like we talked about it going into it, like he's played Infect a bit, a couple of tournaments, been testing it around, enjoys Infect. So he also has Infect for Legacy too. Mm-hmm. So like he knows different ways to play the deck, has a little bit more understanding of different sequencings for it than Keenan does. Magic basically didn't get played in our game, Ben says. So maybe like a rematch of the whole Lyle versus Jeremy mulligans and not really making much happen.
Poor draws.
Yeah. Here's all my lands and nothing else, or I don't know. So that hurts. But Lyle versus Tim, and this came down to, with Tim winning, it shut down a lot of people's brackets as well, because a lot of people were actually had Ben going to the finals again.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I know. One of the big upsets was TJ.
Yes.
Not taking that game against Tim. They were all pulling for TJ to go. At least I think quite a couple of them were all the way up to the finals.
Yes.
On our fantasy brackets. But Tim versus Lyle, you've played this matchup so many times.
I don't want to be sitting in Lyle's position, knowing that the finals is hinging on Infect versus Grixis control.
Sure, 4 lightning bolts, 3 terminate. I mean, that's. I mean, do we
3 Inquisitions?
Like, I don't even want to drag it out, but I kind of want to go back to the deck list and just like look at Tim's list and look at Lyle's list
There's
and like
engineered
see
explosives in there. There's so much hate
that Tim brings to the matchup.
Yes. Yeah, I do not want to be on the Infect side of things going against a Grixis control player. Because we've talked about the whole Wild Defiance that's in Lyle's board isn't as effective in this matchup.
It's not. Because nothing hurts more when you stick a Wild Defiance and you're like, yeah, go ahead, play that lightning bolt. Terminate.
But Lyle does have the Dispels and Spell Pierces in his board. He also has a Spell Pierce in his main.
True.
Which does help him more in this situation.
To protect himself from those spells.
Right. So, what do you think? The big reveal? Season 2?
I can't even, I don't even want to pick. I think we just need to see who is our season 2. You know what? We haven't done it tonight.
Oh, the straw poll.
Let's get a straw poll going, guys. To everyone that is watching right now. Let's go. Is it Lyle? Is it Tim? Who is our season 2 champion? Get those votes in. Lyle, Tim. That's it. That's all. That's all that's needed.
Easy peasy. Get your votes in, y'all. Harder head picks. Oh, Lyle versus Tim.
It's tough.
Infect versus Grixis control.
Because if you think about it some more. Like, Tim is a very experienced Magic player.
Yes.
Lyle is also a very experienced Magic player.
I'd say everybody in this top 8 has been playing for quite a while.
True.
With the exception of Keenan. Our most recent addition, only been playing for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, like, we're talking old school players.
Yeah.
So
the only reason that I give Lyle an up is that Lyle has more experience. I know that Tim has played against Ben. Lyle has more experience with the Infect deck in a tournament setting.
Yes.
Than Tim has with Grixis.
And this is Tim's first time playing Grixis other than playtesting.
Right. So that's something to take in consideration when you're voting, when you're making those heart and head picks.
We even split right now.
We're even split. I think we just need to reveal it.
I think so.
Let's do it. I'm so upset that we can't even show it.
I know.
So here we go. Your winner.
Drum roll, please. And Boss himself.
And Boss.
Going in number 1 seed. Crushes through Jeremy 2-0. Close mirror matchup against Keenan.
Yeah.
And takes it in the final against Tim. I want to say it was 2-0. But I could be wrong in that. I think I remember Tim saying at least in game 2 he rode the struggle bus with his lands.
Okay.
I don't remember if he got flooded out or was short on lands or what happened, but I think there were some issues with his deck not treating him well for game 2 at least. But Lyle is in chat and might be able to shed a little bit more light on what he remembers from the actual finals there. He already said Tim could really improve his Infect matchup by replacing his Electrolyzes with Fork Bolts.
I'm speechless.
Which, yeah, definitely could be a change. I know that one of his Electrolyzes, he wanted an additional Colgun's command.
Okay.
But we just didn't have one amongst us. So that was a little thing. But Lyle, something that got stolen away from him season 1, that he was hunting for season 2
Definitely.
is now the season 2 champion. Will be immortalized as our second Modern Magic Mondays champion now.
Yep.
So we've got 2 over these 2 seasons, but clearly Lyle was on his A game for season 2. Went into the Invitational sitting at first place. Took out Jeremy, took out Keenan, and Tim to be able to be crowned the champion of season number 2
So
here.
big congratulations to Lyle. Holding it down. And you know what we get to do now.
I mean, it's a real testament to his skills as a player and consistently playing a deck.
Yes, absolutely. Don't mind me, guys. Lyle's in chat there. We get to change our ticker.
Hopefully. But Lyle was talking about, first game I top decked the Noble Hierarch off of a probe to get the extra mana needed to run out Blighted Agent with protection spell up and lethal the first attack. Whew. That's pretty sweet. I like that. So congratulations to Lyle, season 2 champion.
The number 1 player
And boss. Came into it
in the shop.
rank 1. Ended up sealing the deal. Number 1 modern player currently at
Comic
Kung Fu. Now that could change with season 3.
It could.
Because when you guys come out, that definitely could add some disruptions. And you might have a chance to make it into the Invitational.
He's not talking to me, by the way. He's talking to you guys.
He can't play in the Invitational.
I can't.
I can't play in the Invitational.
Not allowed. But this is the perfect segue for you guys.
You at home.
You guys at home. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us on this impromptu
discussion episode.
We're bringing you basically live coverage of something that happened 10 plus days ago, and unfortunately we can't show you guys the video because it's just too bad. Like I don't even want to look at it myself. And we looked at it quite a bit, trying to figure out what it is we could do to make this happen. But again, big shout outs to you guys, not only for coming and hanging out tonight for the season 2 Invitational, listening to us just jab on and on for, I think we almost went 3 hours with
it's
no
10 o'clock now.
Yeah, no video content. Yo, Trisky Brew, thank you so much for that donation, dude.
Yeah,
sneaking it in.
We wanted to try to give you guys an in-depth breakdown of the Invitational without having to do the coverage. Now, if you guys remember from season number 1, we did the basic stuff. Here's the deck list. Here's the interviews. And then we'll get more discussion going while the game is on because we'll have that downtime. Well, this time we just sat there and really broke down a lot more in depth about the decks that they're playing, that whole kind of metagaming that could go on. So a little bit more discussion. So apologize that we weren't able to bring you guys the footage that we wanted to. We're still looking into why things did not work out for the Invitational or week number 1 of season 3. Lyle bringing up a good point that the shop will be closed tomorrow, so don't show up or you'll be hanging out by yourself outside. You're not even allowed to go in.
But as always, we want to make sure that we do shout out to our patrons.
Yes.
That have donated to the stream to keep it alive. To Trip, the owner of Comic Kung Fu, who basically lets us come in and take over on a Tuesday night to put up all of these videos, to keep all these points.
Yes.
That houses the cameras, everything like that. Thank you so much. To Dionysus Bacchus, Christopher Bennett, table judge extraordinaire, general manager of the Cork Street Tavern, which, by the way, we took this guy on his bachelor weekend. He gets married next week, so wish him all of the best.
That is next week.
It is next week.
Next Sunday.
Thank you, dude. And to Matt Manson, not able to join us and play each week, but is super excited to be able to watch the stream and wanted to show his support by throwing a couple bucks our way. To our top stream donors, we've got Drewski Brew, as always, slipping in right at the end. Atticus, our mystery donor, which it's 2 seasons out. We don't know.
I don't know.
I'm gonna thank you. Tachidamus, Lila Goyf, Nate Hop 34, Burgleton, Stormdust 07, Badger 934, Strong Smash, and now Weeaboo Wet Dream.
Yes, we'll have to add you to the list.
Adding you to the list, thank you. Congrats, Brett. Not me, dude. Not me. This guy right here. Drewski Brew is a Twitch Prime member, though. That's good to know. Good to know.
I like that.
King me, Prime me. And again, you guys, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Again, this is, a pretty impromptu, thrown together stream, but honestly, I think it went fairly well.
I agree. And we'll have all the stuff that we talked about up on YouTube. Each interview will be broken up individually and placed up on YouTube, which is, of course, our Modern Magic Mondays YouTube channel. And with Season 3, once we start getting the footage, we will be officially migrated over to twitch.tv/Modern Magic Mondays.
So if you guys haven't yet, be sure to hop on over to Modern Magic Mondays. Here, hit the follow button so you guys know when we go live. This will, with the new fancy features that Twitch has offered streamers, we can now do auto hosting.
Yeah.
So if for whatever reason you can't, congrats on Nan, there you go. If you can't make it over, be sure to either check out Nan at The Real Nan Man or me at Farmazurnar, and we will be hosting up for Modern Magic Mondays.
We will. Also, at the end of October, we have a SCGIQ that we're going to be doing coverage for. We've already recorded the matches, so the event has already taken place, but we've been holding on this footage that we've got until after I get married and have more free time to
There
do
you
it.
go. So it may be a little bit, but it will be there.
And the end of October, beginning of November is kind of our time frame that we're shooting for. Once we have a solid date figured out, we will let you guys know. Also, make sure you guys are following Brett over at Farmazurnar for his Twitch, because he's been doing practice speedrunning. He's been doing all of his, of course, casual Thursdays, and all that extra streaming stuff that he's trying to do over there. Make sure you guys are checking that out. Speedrunning stuff's pretty cool. You've been doing the Final Fantasy for your speedrun.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's you don't think that you enjoy it, and then you start doing it, and you're like, oh, I do actually. This is actually kind of fun. It's like a challenge. So yeah,
you're fighting against yourself.
It is. It is. Yeah, and you always learn something new.
Yeah. And what are you working on right now for Casual Thursday? What
so
are you on
Casual Thursday / Friday. We're still trying to find that day.
Rotating.
Yeah. We're playing Legend of Dragoon, and we are doing terrible at it. I do have an addition counter. Addition's the combo system in the game, and it's either Brett fails or Brett succeeds.
Oh,
so I've got some contests I'm playing with, assigning some in-stream currency to the victors. Nice. It's fun time. It's a fun time.
Good stuff. We'll see about week 1 because we've missed the coverage. Is sadly not something we can use. We're going to post up the results about it on use the images and stuff like that, so you guys can know. We'll talk about it. Maybe we'll do something else, like a fun stream stuff for that week, because that was the week you and Eminem were supposed to be doing coverage, right?
So the week that Nan's gone on his honeymoon, we have invited our table judge extraordinaire, Dionysus Bacchus, Chris Bennett, to come and sit in this chair, this one right here, sit next to me, and hopefully we'll have everything figured out for week 2, and we will run out week 2 with...
Oh, that week 2 will be when we're recording it up next week.
Yeah.
The shop's closed this week.
Yep.
My brain doesn't work.
So week 2, you will not see this man, but you will see at Dionysus Bacchus sitting next to me to bring you week number 2 of Modern Magic Mondays. But before we go, dude, you're going to be getting married soon.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean you're going to stop streaming after you get married. So what are you doing?
Oh.
So what are you going to be putting up for everyone?
So after the wedding and all that stuff is done, with like the honeymoon and then November when I have time.
Sure,
to,
that's right.
Stuff.
When November starts.
I am going to finish the Warcraft 3 campaign because I did the human campaign and then haven't had a chance to do any more of it. So I'm going to do that. I'm also thinking of streaming up Magic Leagues for Modern, at least on twitch.tv/TheRealNanman. So at least at one point during the week, we'll probably start doing that.
Nice.
Pick a deck to stream up for Modern Leagues or do drafting and different Magic Online stuff over here. So for those that have followed over here, can still enjoy some content that we'll be bringing you guys Magic related. And then Sundays we're going to get back into doing Let's Play videos because we still have that Armor Crawl game to play.
Yeah, you do.
I like it.
With the lights off.
I'm not going to play any scary games for Halloween. That's going to be Brett, and he'll tell you all about that because I'm not playing any scary games because I can't do it. I don't do scary games. I don't do scary movies. No, I'm not going to play any scary games. Sorry. But you're going to play some scary games,
We'll
right?
get there. We'll get there.
But that's it for our invitational stuff, guys. We really appreciate all the support that you guys have given us over this time period. You know, we've got stickers to give away, things like that. We're going to look into extra stuff to do giveaways for in the future. Maybe some more stuff. There's been rumors and talks about maybe T-shirts and stuff like that.
What do you think of those lines?
If you guys would like to buy T-shirts from us, let us know.
Yeah, it's definitely like a litmus test. So if you guys are interested, I'm going to interrupt him.
Yeah, see, he knows what I'm trying to say.
You let us know in chat, DM us, hit us up on Twitter, anything you can think of to get a hold of us, and let us know, hey, yeah, I would be interested in a T-shirt. Because that's really what's going to be the guiding force in that.
Yeah, if we can end up going that route.
Hashtag Nana's wrong. I think that's a great shirt. We can definitely make that
easy.
happen.
Hashtag Nana's wrong.
Hashtag.
All right, guys.
That's it, guys.
That's the end of our another season of Modern Magic Monday. So catch us next time for kickoff for season 3.
That's right.